Welcome to the Fantasy Audiobook. City. Start Awakening Time and Space Dual Spirits. Chapter 61. I have to say that the word penetrating the wood is very expressive. Zhang Dasheng. Wu Sisong broke his voice again, and if he didn't say a word, he rushed up and was beaten. However, Zhang Dasheng was already prepared. The super defensive power of the Yutian battle armor is no joke, and Wu Sisong is still injured and his strength is not much. Li Fengxian. I can't see that Zhang Dasheng has a lot of heart. I suddenly feel a little envious of the Yutian armor. Ji Ming licked his lips. On the other hand, the expressions of Shen Yunkang and Chen Yao have changed and changed. Wu Sisong was anal. This sentence sounded like a curse in his mind over and over again. Thinking of the picture of him carrying Wu Sisong all the way, Shen Yunkang's face turned white and green and white. Especially during the period, Wu Sisong enjoyed it quite a bit. Coupled with the bumps in the road when running, the picture can't be imagined. Worry, I've been analyzed. This was the only thought in Shen Yunkang's mind. 20 minutes later, when Wu Sisong finished venting, Zhang Dasheng said with a smile, "Relieve your anger, just relieve your anger." Wu Sisong didn't really want to talk to Zhang Dasheng. In order to prevent Wu Sisong from running wild again, Yi Feng and the others were very sensible and did not mention it again. Don't mention it again. The veins on Wu Sisong's forehead were exposed. I will say 20 times for the last time. I, Wu Sisong, have not been beaten by the powerful ape. Everyone nodded in unison. Shen Yunkang, do you believe me? Wu Sisong looked at his good friend and horseboy and said. Shen Yunkang nodded sternly and said, Song Jie. I absolutely believe in Angkor. Suddenly Wu Sisong had a black line. Call me Angkor before, now call me Songye. Am I loose? I don't. Anyway, there is no need for everyone to say this. Wu Sisong snorted. Otherwise, friends will not have to do it. Yi Feng and several people. Hi, this threat is too scary, I will definitely help you keep it a secret. Shen Yunkang said sternly. Don't worry, Angkor, I am the strictest. Wu Sisong. Mom sells batches. Soon everyone gathered together to help Chen Yao complete the last task. After beheading the great ape, Chen Yao said happily, Thank you, my mission is now completed. Yi Feng's appearance as a modest gentleman just nodded and didn't speak. I was afraid that I couldn't hold back. Did someone's complexion change after seeing Vigorous Ape? Squeak. At this moment, the cub of Vigorous Ape, who had always been Snow White, jumped out of the crack. Everyone looked in unison. This cub is not black like other great apes, but white and fleshy. The eyes are even bigger and watery. Wow, so cute. Chen Yao's motherhood overflowed, her eyes lit up. The men present didn't feel much about this. Ji Ming sneered, cute has a fart, just delicious. That said, I'm really hungry. Yi Feng said, the journey to the secret realm of chaos is about to come to an end, and it is very successful. And these days, Yi Feng hadn't eaten anything at all. Me too. In that case, Ji Ming immediately grabbed the cub of the great ape. You can eat it while you wait for it to be teleported. Ah, you can't eat it. Chen Yaohu cried anxiously. Li Fengxian said, Sister Yao, Dolly's meat is very fragrant. Let's eat some together later. Aren't you going to keep it? Yi Feng rolled his eyes wildly. This is a soul beast, it's not well bred. As he said that, he pulled 2 more powerful ape corpses from the side. Wu Sisong has a special resentment for the great ape, so he doesn't really want to eat it. Chen Yao, on the other hand, was distressed by the cute little ape and didn't eat it. Yi Feng and the elders are also welcome, and what they eat is called an incense. It's delicious, really fragrant and chewy. Let's go back and take the other 3 out to share. Good idea, it's rare to see Dolly ape outside. Several people ate their mouths full of oil. Not far away, Chen Yao's stomach growled. She had been running for her life these days and her physical strength was severely exhausted. Come on, eat something. Ji Ming handed over a thigh and said, if you don't eat it for nothing, you will take revenge for Wu Sisong. Not far away, Wu Sisong's mouth twitched, what does have to do with me? Chen Yao seemed to move herself, she sat down next to Yi Feng, and started eating. Seeing this, Yi Feng asked, how does it taste? It smells good. Chen Yao said happily, hey, don't finish eating, leave some for me. As for the cute cub, Chen Yao had already forgotten about it. As Wu Sisong's younger brother, Shen Yunkang still thinks of his own boss. Quietly hid a piece of meat intestines. Angkor, eat some. Wu Sisong's heart warmed, thinking that you are better than Shen Yunkang, unlike the others who have no conscience. He immediately took it and took a bite. Sudden. No, where did the sausage come from? That part. Wu Sisong seemed to think of something, his face turned green. Shen Yunkang. Shen Yunkang was innocent. He really had no malicious intentions, so he felt that he should make up for his boss. Beside the bonfire, Yi Feng and the others gathered together to watch Wu Sisong beat someone with interest. Boom. At this moment, the space above began to tremble rapidly. The secret realm of chaos is coming to an end. Yi Feng looked up and said, Chen Yao, so soon, how many days have we stayed in the chaos secret realm? Ji Ming, I don't know, I haven't counted. Yi Feng, who counts the days of serious people? Li Fengxian, that's right, it's not a woman, what kind of life is it? Zhang Dasheng, hey Li Fengxian, there is something in your words. People. Haha, Chen Yao was in a hurry, what are you talking about? At this time Gong Qingyu suddenly asked, by the way, have you seen Xiao Fengyan? Everyone shook their heads. Chen Yao said a little sadly, do you think brother Xiao has already? Everyone didn't speak. Stupid girl, isn't it obvious, maybe it will become fertilizer. At the same time, chaos is outside the secret. Wang Quan and the four looked at the rumbling teleportation array with shock. It's coming out, Wang Quan said with anticipation in his heart. How did Yi Feng gain in these 20 days? Mu Tian, Chu Yang, and Pu Wen all had the same expression. Not enough. Chu Yang and Pu Wen were relatively nervous. I hope there will be no casualties. Yi Feng and the others didn't know that they spent 20 days in the secret realm of chaos. The outside world freshmen have already enrolled. Hey, the four of Wang Quan did not wait long, and soon a streamer flashed. Xiao Shen, how is it inside? Chu Yang caught his student and asked. Shen Yunkang said, Principal Chu has a good harvest, I just stayed with Yi Feng and the others. That's good. Chu Yang breathed a sigh of relief, as long as everyone is fine. Wait, why are there only 9? Shen Yunkang. Xiao Fengyan didn't see it. Union University President Pu Wen's heart sank when he heard the words. Hearing the words, Chu Yang asked, how about that brat Wu Sisong? He was afraid that Wu Sisong could not help but shut Yi Feng in the secret realm of chaos. In that case, don't talk about Wu Sisong today, even if he himself may not be able to leave. Oh, Angkor, he is okay. Shen Yunkang didn't want to tell everyone Wu Sisong's secret. What is okay? Hurry up and say. Chu Yang shouted in a low voice. Wang Quan also looked over and looked indifferent. If Wu Sisong really did something to Yi Feng, then he, the teacher, would have to slaughter the Wu family. Shen Yunkang had no choice but to bite the bullet and said, he was slapped by a powerful ape, the kind of three-pointed. As soon as these words came out, the expressions of the four Wang Quan immediately became extremely exciting. Call out. At this moment, a few more figures were sent out. Yi Feng landed steadily on the ground and looked around. How about Yi Feng? Wang Quan asked. Yi Feng nodded with a satisfied smile. Teacher, everything is going well, the harvest is very good. Wang Quan breathed a sigh of relief, this kid is reliable. Soon, all 9 people were sent out. Pu Wen retracted his gaze with some grief, but Xiao Fengyan did not come out. Headmaster. Chen Yao felt the same and said with red eyes, Brother Xiao, he must have. Yi Feng and the others rolled their eyes wildly, and the teleportation array was closed. 10 minutes later. After inquiring about the general situation of everyone, Wang Quan said sternly, only you know what happened today, don't tell outsiders. Yi Feng nodded at the same time. After all, 9 of them are the top talents of the human race, and they are also on the must-kill list of the 10,000 Beast sect. If the 10,000 Beasts religion knew that everyone had made little progress, it might be even crazier. Zhang Jiming was depressed. Principal, can't you talk about everything? Oh, forgot. Wang Quan Shindao forgot that this guy was comparing to, and explained, I'm talking about your progress, strength, trump cards and other information. Zhang Jiming's eyes lit up. That's great. Wu Sisong had a bad feeling. This is so obvious, it would be stupid if you can't guess what Jiming wants to do. In general, this year's trip to the mystical realm of chaos has been very successful. Wang Quan said. You have to remember that cultivation is like sailing against the current. If you don't advance, you will retreat. This is an extremely dangerous road. Since you have embarked on this road, you can only rush forward. I hope to see you make more contributions to the human race in the near future. After Wang Quan finished speaking, he waved his hand. Principal Chu, let's go. Chu Yang took out the alloy boat again. When everyone boarded the ship, Wu Sesong discovered a strange phenomenon. The four principals seemed to be avoiding themselves intentionally. After arriving at Yinghan City, everyone went back to their respective homes to find their respective mothers. Yi Feng, I'll go to Dijing to find you another day. Zhang Dasheng reluctantly said. Yi Feng is kind and nice, and he doesn't want to go back to the devil's capital anymore. Wu Sesong did not speak, but felt that the unbearable past was finally over. Well, the premise is that those annoying guys don't talk nonsense. After exiting the teleportation array, the next group of people, escorted by Wang Quan, walked towards Taikyo University. At the same time, Yi Feng is out. After Wang Quan and others walked away, a middle-aged man with a knife scar said coldly. The helmsman, Yi Feng is well protected now. The old man next to the black-haired youth said solemnly. Since Zhao Boming's assassination failed, the Ziming protector was furious. After that, Chen Tong was sent to Dijing to form a new sub-rudder. Chen Tong snorted coldly. Wait. The Dharma protector did not give us a time limit. It depends on who is more patient. Chen Tong didn't believe that Yi Feng would never come out. Zhao Boming, that trash. When I think of Zhao Boming and Chen Tong, I get angry. If it wasn't for this guy Yi Feng, how could he escape? The dignified diamond pinnacle can't kill a silver 1-star. It's ridiculous. Chen Tong looked at it for a while and then turned to leave. And just as the two of them left, call out, the king who had just arrived at Taikyo University appeared like a ghost. Immediately looked around. The speed was very fast. Chen Tong and the deputy helmsman Qian Peng were walking towards the sub-rudder one after the other. The two of them were very cautious, and at this moment, they walked into a small alley playing the role of father and son filial piety. Chen Tong and the others did not find anyone following them. Not worthy of their strength. Wang Quan acted like a ghost, and a moment later saw Chen Tong and Qian Peng enter a residential house and smiled. It is impossible for the myriad beasts to give up the imperial capital. Wang Quan guessed that there will inevitably be a new helmsman. And the new helmsman will always keep an eye on Yi Feng. Entering the secret realm of chaos is not a secret. And Wang Quan came to a plan. So the new sub-rudder is here. Wang Quan squinted his eyes and sensed, it's the place to choose. Said and raised his hand. The terrifying soul power lifted the 2-story building. Inside the house, Chen Tong froze for a moment and then his face turned pale. He knew he was being watched. Boom. The next moment, the deputy helmsman Qian Peng exploded directly in front of Chen Tong. A ruthless look flashed in Chen Tong's eyes. Just as he was about to activate the imprint of the beasts, his eyes turned white and he passed out. There are 59 members of the congregation in the new sub-rudder. These are all newcomers, and they are elites drawn from various places. However, these 59 elites were instantly killed by Wang Quan with one move. Immediately, Wang Quan destroyed the punishment rudder and took Chen Tong with him in a flash. Taikyo University, President's Office. Yi Feng and Gong Qingyu did not leave. Wang Quan told Yi Feng about this when he was still in Seoul City. Yi Feng raised his hands to welcome this. The myriad beast religion is powerful because it develops very fast and has a high penetration rate. Coupled with the imprint of the beasts, it is not so easy to inquire about their traces. Call out. At this moment, a light flashed. Wang Quan threw the unconscious Chen Tong on the ground. Yi Feng, it's up to you. The imprint of the myriad beasts could not be forcibly broken, but Yi Feng's death and decay were perfectly restrained. Yi Feng nodded, and the 10,000-year spirit ring appeared under his feet. Seeing this scene, Wang Quan's eyes skyrocketed. Almost 30,000 years. Wang Quan was a little shocked in his heart. This kid is weird. He clearly remembered that Yi Feng was only a 1,000-year-old soul ring when he experimented on him. And now it's 30,000 years after a trip to the secret realm of chaos. Wang Quan didn't think that there were so many pieces of martial soul true stone in the secret realm of chaos. The spirit real stone that can increase the life of the spirit ring is a rare and unparalleled thing, and it is very lucky to be able to get more than a dozen. Looks like this guy has a secret. Quote, Wang Quan raised his head and said, could it be Lord Suzaku? From the king's point of view, only the 3 pillars of the human race can do it. Just as he was thinking about it, the imprint of the beasts on Chen Tong's forehead was completely removed by death and decay. At any time, Wang Quan issued a ban to seal Chen Tong's soul power. When Chen Tongyu woke up, she was a little confused. Fool, tell me where your headquarters is. Zhang Zhiji ordered an online interrogation. Li Fengxian rolled his eyes wildly, and it would be strange if Mada could ask something like this. As predicted, Chen Tong. Humph, Yi Feng said lightly. Dead duck has a tough mouth, look at your imprint of the beasts. Chen Tong was stunned for a moment, and then his face changed dramatically. This is his reliance. I told you that I would give you a chance to commit crimes. Yi Feng narrowed his eyes and said, otherwise, you know my methods. I really don't know. When Chen Tong saw Wang Quan staring at him indifferently, his heart sank. The strength of the King's Peak is extremely strong, even if their Zimming protector is far from comparable. Kill it if you don't say it. Yi Feng took a step forward to start. Ji Ming hurriedly said, let me come, I can torture him to death. And me, I'll try too. Li Fengxian was also eager to try. Chen Tong's face changed again and again, and his mother sold the batch. After hesitating for a while, Chen Tong said, I only know that it is in Qinzhou, and I don't know anything else. This is true, Chen Tong's authority is not enough to know the location of the headquarters. Wang Quan nodded secretly, knowing that Chen Tong did not lie. Ji Ming and Li Fengxian looked at Yi Feng at the same time, and after receiving Yi Feng's gesture, they rushed forward with bad intentions. 10 minutes later, Chen Tong's body was disposed of by Ji Ming. After this time, they may not dare to continue sending people. Wang Quan said, it's safe for now, let's hand in the mission. Teacher, I have a question. Yi Feng thought about it and asked, is there any shortcut to quickly improve the compatibility of martial arts? The standard for the great perfection of silver is that the martial spirit fit reaches 55%. And Yi Feng hasn't had time to manage his martial soul compatibility since the bronze consummation, so he still stayed at 40%. In other words, he must increase his fit to 55% to be eligible to impact the great perfection. Take the Holy Spirit pill. Wang Quan said, don't you even know this, kid? Of course Yi Feng knew about the Holy Spirit pill. This is used to break through to Zochin, just like Poedon. However, the process of absorbing Poedon is still very painful. And the pain level of the Holy Spirit pill in the silver period will only be stronger. Is there an easier way? Yi Feng asked with a wink. The further back the strength is, the more difficult it is to improve the martial spirit fit. Bronze 9 stars to the great perfection. Yi Feng used Poedon, and although he only needs to increase the fit by 15% to the silver great perfection. But this 15% may require 20 Holy Spirit pills, or even more. Wang Quan probably understood what Yi Feng meant. To be honest, there was no such thing. Your kid's breakthrough speed is too fast. Others have silver 1 star to 9 stars for at least 1 year, which is still the standard of top talent. As for Yi Feng, it's been less than a month. This simply refreshes the view. It didn't exist, but it actually does. Yi Feng's eyes lit up, and he knew that it was reliable to find you, old Wang. Wang Quan pondered and said, there is a Soul Origin Hall in Tejing University, which is a privilege that only teacher has. Besides the teacher, he is the president of the student union. Although you are my student, I'm not good at making an exception. If you go to Gong Qingyu and ask him to be the president, it just so happens that the kid doesn't want to do it. Soul Origin Hall. This is an unfamiliar word. Teacher, what does the Soul Origin Hall do? Wang Quan said with a smile. The Soul Origin Hall has collected the power of the origin of the known martial arts, and it is the only one in the entire human race. Its role is to find the origin of your martial spirit, and combining with the secret method of controlling your soul can quickly increase your martial spirit fit by 10%. This is somewhat similar to the spirit room. Yi Feng said. Hey, The Martial Soul Room is just a simulation of martial soul, while the Soul Origin Hall is a real one. Wang Quan said, your time clock, Emperor Li Qing 1,000 years ago possessed this martial spirit, and Guan Junshan possessed this martial spirit 300 years ago with the Sword of Nothingness. Their cultivations are far higher than yours. Very helpful to you. After pondering for a while, Wang Quan said, with your current strength, you can increase it to 50% in 2 or 3 days at most. After combining with the Holy Spirit pill, it should be able to achieve great consummation soon. That's great, I'll go find Gong Qingyu. Yi Feng couldn't wait to say, thank you, teacher. After Yi Feng left, Wang Quan shook his head secretly. Gong Qingyu would definitely be happy to donate the seat of the student council president, but others might not be happy. There are not a few juniors and seniors who are thinking about this position. Although the talent is not comparable to the 4 great talents like Gong Qingyu, they are still extremely strong. Its combat power is generally around the golden 7 stars. It's not so easy for Yi Feng to get this president. Yi Feng did not go to Gong Qingyu for the first time, but submitted this task first. On the way to Gong Qingyu's dormitory, Yi Feng summed up the harvest of the secret realm of chaos. His martial soul point has reached 536,000. In addition, a god-level reward was also triggered, and he possessed a spirit stone that could increase the life of the spirit ring for 60,000 years. There are also 10 pieces of spirit stone fragments, but this is not enough for Yi Feng to plug his teeth. These Yi Feng are not going to be used for the time being, and we will talk about it when Baiyin is consummated. As long as he reaches the great perfection, he can attach the soul ring of Yinwei Tianhe, and then he can naturally become a gold-level powerhouse. By that time, the 530,000 spirit points would be enough for him to gain several stars. After arriving at Gong Qingyu's dormitory, this guy seems to have just taken a shower, and even his clothes have been changed into new ones. Yi Feng, why are you here? Gong Qingyu asked while blowing her hair. I have to say that this guy blowing his hair is elegant, unlike him and Ji Ming, who are just fooling around. Senior, what are the conditions for me to be the president of the student council? Yi Feng got straight to the point. Gong Qingyu put down the hair dryer, and was stunned for a moment, then her face was filled with joy. You want to be the president? Cab. Gong Qingyu's eyes lit up. He always wanted to throw this hot potato to Li Fengxian, but the guy was desperate. The others, Gong Qingyu, either felt unqualified or unsuitable, so they always had a headache. During this trip to the secret realm of chaos, he deeply realized Yi Feng's power and evil spirit. It is impossible to say that there is no pressure. Not only Gong Qingyu, but also Ji Ming and the others, did they go to retreat without seeing Ji Ming and Li Fengxian handing in the task and even taking a shower. Everyone is the top 4 top talents of the human race, but the appearance of Yi Feng has changed this situation. If you don't work hard, the human race will only have one peerless evildoer, Yi Feng. So when Gong Qingyu was blowing his hair, he was thinking about who to throw it to. After throwing this position out, he could practice and retreat with peace of mind. Yi Feng nodded and repeated what he said to Wang Quan. The smile on Gong Qingyu's face became more and more intense. Principal Wang is right, Soul Origin Hall can definitely help you improve quickly. Yi Feng's situation is not the same as everyone else. Gong Qingyu and the others are not difficult to improve the compatibility of martial arts. On the one hand, the promotion speed is not as fast as Yi Feng's, everyone is slowly improving, and even the compatibility of martial arts is also gradually improving. On the other hand, Yi Feng's 2 martial spirits are too heaven-defying, so it is difficult to improve the fit. Gong Qingyu and the others were relatively relaxed. Even if they were 9 stars, they would be able to complete their consummation by taking 1 or 2 pills. I have no problem here, that is, there must be many people in the junior and senior years who are dissatisfied. Gong Qingyu smiled and said, but it's not a problem, just beat them all at once. As long as you crush them with your strength, your position as president will be extremely stable. That's fine, that's it. Immediately, Gong Qingyu brought Yi Feng to the student council. In the major martial arts universities, the student union is a rather important department, so there is a separate activity area. As the president, he also has an independent office. Gong Qingyu was very efficient and finished the program in a few minutes. Yi Feng nodded when he looked at the big characters on the internet, and it was done. From now on, he will be the president of the Taikyo University Student Union. I asked the Academic Affairs Office to make the badge and give it to you. Gong Qingyu said. The election and appointment of the president of the student union is decided by the president, and the school only needs to know. It can be seen that the power of the chairman is still very large. After a pause, Gong Qingyu gloated a little and said, there must be a lot of people looking for you in the next few days, you just need to be mentally prepared. Yi Feng smiled. How many days? How can I spend time with them? Just today. Having said that, Yi Feng exercised the responsibility of the student council president for the first time and sent out an announcement. Harem Qingyu was stunned when she saw the announcement. This guy, is he so fierce? The content of the announcement is very simple and only one sentence. Today at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, Yi Feng, the new student council president and freshman, set up a ring to accept challenges from all the new and old students. This announcement is issued to all Taikyo University students. As long as they are officially enrolled, they can receive this message through the campus network. Yi Feng pays attention to being straightforward. Instead of letting them find themselves one by one, it is better to take the initiative to attack. Gong Qingyu gave a thumbs up. This is a good strategy. After a pause, Gong Qingyu said hesitantly, you made a wrong button. Speaking of getting started, Yi Feng was instantly horrified, and Mada's sinful little hand finally reached out to me. At the same time, all Taikyo University students received this announcement. Freshman Class 1. Zhang Duor listened to the teacher's theory course while eating snacks. Sudden, Duor come to the school network. Huyuru exclaimed in a big wave on the side. Zhang Duor stuffed a spicy stick into his mouth and said lazily, what are you doing? Yi Feng has become the student council president. Huyuru said. What? Zhang Duor had a big mouth, and she turned on her phone without saying a word. Immediately, wow, he is going to challenge all the new and old students. Zhang Duor's words immediately caught the attention of all the freshmen in Class 1. Everyone took out their mobile phones. For Yi Feng, there is almost nothing that you new students don't know. Some time ago, with the strength of 1 silver star, he instantly controlled 10 gold 1-star beast blood killers. It is to save his life in the pursuit of the Diamond Peak. Coupled with its 2 unparalleled super martial arts, Yi Feng's fame has surpassed Gong Qingyu and the others. Didn't he go to the mystical realm of chaos? Could it be that he has already come here? Zhang Duor asked curiously. She knew about the secret realm of chaos, but she didn't expect it to come out. Yi Feng is going to challenge new and old students, is it a little crazy? A freshman asked. Crazy? No matter how crazy it is the pride of the freshmen. Don't you think that many old students will bully us? That's right, Yi Feng is amazing. With his strength, he should be able to defeat many old students. Nian. Ha, those sophomores are definitely not opponents. Everyone was a little excited. Many people present have not seen Yi Feng, and they are all excited and looking forward to the match immediately. Ji Yao, who was in charge of teaching, frowned slightly, but then he took out his mobile phone. Some time ago, the freshmen had completed their class placement. Yi Feng was also in Class 1 of the freshman year, and was his student. However, this guy went to the secret realm of chaos, and Ji Yao has never seen a real person. You want to challenge everyone as a freshman. Ji Yao, who was in his 60th year, shook his head secretly. Young people are crazy. Although Yi Feng is very powerful, many juniors, seniors, and seniors are in the middle and late stages of gold. If they don't make a move, it's fine. If they make a move, it's Yi Feng who will be embarrassed. After all, to this day, Yi Feng's fame is already there. Class 2. I'm going. Yi Shen is amazing. Lin Hao looked at the phone and exclaimed. Angkor, you and Yi Shen were both from No. 2 middle school before. How is he? 2 words, invincible. Lin Hao said excitedly. At 2 o'clock in the afternoon, I must go to support. Let's go too. It's rare for a freshman to teach an old man a lesson, haha. Taikyo University has a tradition that there will be a challenge competition at the entrance ceremony for freshmen. An old student challenges a new student, the old student does not replace the new student, and the new student can fight on wheels. The freshmen were terrified of being beaten that time. Especially the arrogant attitude of many veterans makes them even more uncomfortable. As for Yi Feng, the first freshman, everyone is in awe. Now that he is finally planning to make a move, how can we not be excited? Class 3. GTN and Zuo Chohan widened their eyes. Worry, Yifeng shouldn't be serious, right? Can he do it alone? Zuo Chohan frowned, slightly worried. During the summer vacation, he and GTN made great progress, both reaching 3 silver stars. This strength is already more powerful than many sophomores. No, we have to help him. GTN said solemnly, although we are incomparable with Yifeng, if there are some sophomores who don't open their eyes, we can still help teach them a lesson. Well, I'll call Yifeng now. Zuo Chohan said. Originally, he was going to the same school as his elder brother Zuoqiu Wushwang. But because Yifeng shocked him too much during the special training camp, Zuo Chohan finally came to Dijing. I just hope to get closer to my goal and surpass Yifeng one day. Of course, if Zuoqiu Wushwang knew about it, he would definitely let his younger brother know what it was like to have a shattered dream. Can't get through. Zuo Chohan was stunned. GTN sneered and said, that's because you have a bad relationship with him, I think you have been blocked, look at me. 2 minutes later, GTN was stunned. I can't get through either. Yifeng's challenge to all the new and old students was like a tornado, which quickly caused a great sensation in the school. Taikyo University Gymnasium. Several young people are training in full swing. Brother Jun, look at the internet. At this time, one of the young men said solemnly. Shang Jun did not speak, and was still training hard. The student council president has been replaced, it's that Yifeng. As soon as these words came out, Shang Jun immediately looked over. What did you say? Shang Jun frowned slightly. Is he worthy of a freshman? Yifeng's reputation is too great, even these old students know it. Wei Buhao, who had spoken earlier, joked, this person is amazing. Not only is he the president of course, but he also challenges all the new and old students. A cold look flashed in Shang Jun's eyes. When he saw the announcement, he sneered, the current junior is crazy enough. It is worth mentioning that Shang Jun was also in the second middle school before, and he is also Yifeng's senior. And Shang Jun's talent and strength are excellent, reaching 7 gold stars. It's just that Shang Jun is a little worse than the 9 people who entered the secret realm of chaos, so he did not qualify. But the strength of the gold 7 stars is real. Brother Jun, in the afternoon, let's go to teach that kid a lesson, let him know that even if the evildoer comes to the imperial capital, he has to be honest. Wei Buhao joked, he's not worth my shot. Shang Jun looked silent. However, in the afternoon, I would like to see how this guy is ashamed. In Shang Jun's eyes, his opponents are only Gong Qingyu and Ji Ming, even Li Fengxian is not qualified. After a while, Shang Jun smiled and said, perhaps you don't even need to take action, I think it's not just us who are interested in him at the moment. At the same time, the top of Kunlun Mountain. A woman in white clothes fluttering like a fairy, looking at the sea of clouds in the sky quietly. After a while, the woman frowned, could it be my illusion? Ding ding. At this time, the woman's cell phone rang, and after seeing the message above, the woman's pretty face had a strange look, the 5th junior brother has come out. Besides Yifeng, Wang Quan has 4 students. And Ji Yu Qinru was Wang Quan's 3rd student. She is very curious and caring about this 5th junior brother, Yifeng, who has never met, and Ji Yu Qinru, who has never had the chance to see him before. Now that things have come to an end for the time being, you can join in. This 5th one is quite straightforward. Ji Yu Qinru was very satisfied. As a teacher, students should be domineering. How can you be a big deal without being domineering? Immediately, Ji Yu Qian softened into a white light and disappeared on the top of Kunlun Mountain. The majestic and continuous Kunlun Mountains are several times higher than the Kunlun Mountains on the earth in the previous life. White clouds are rolling on the mountain, and the soul power is extremely rich. After Ji Yu Qinru left, a pair of eyes swept in all directions and disappeared suddenly. Inside Gong Qingyu's dormitory, since learning that Yifeng has become the new president, the vice president and other backbones have already exploded. President, you should discuss it with my 240 zeros in advance. Vice President Qi Yuanshou frowned and said with some dissatisfaction, he can't be a newcomer to convince the public, how can the work in the future be carried out? Qi Yuanshou and Shang Jun are the same golden 7 stars. Yes, President, Even if you don't want to do it, you can give it to Li Fengxian. We have no opinion. Another vice president, Zhou Kai, also said. We admit that Yi Feng's talent is far superior to ours, but it's a bit too much to want to be the president of the Silver One Star, right? The other backbone disagreed. Gong Qingyu lifted the gold-rimmed glasses and said after hearing the words, President Yi has already said that he will challenge all the new and old students. If you are not convinced, you can challenge him. With Gong Qingyu's wisdom, he couldn't see that these people were coveting the position of the president. It's just that Gong Qingyu felt that none of them were qualified. The president of Taikyo University must have the best talent and a decent personality. The former president trusted him so much, Gong Qingyu didn't want this position to be taken by unqualified people. Qi Yuanshou and Zhou Kai looked at each other, the latter smiled and said, to beat him with our strength would be to bully him, let's see what happened in the afternoon. If the other old students are not strong enough, then it will not be too late for them to end. With the passage of time, the news about Yi Feng challenging new and old students has attracted more and more people's attention. The freshmen are all excited, and there are not a few people who are worried. Most of the old students were disdainful or indignant at Gong Qingyu's actions. While they couldn't beat Gong Qingyu, they could beat Yi Feng. In the dean's office, Yu Qingyan couldn't help laughing. President Wang's student is really good enough. The freshmen challenge the new and the old, which is the first of its kind. Hey, who said it wasn't? He Bing said. I am looking forward to the afternoon. Well, let's take a look together. Inside the Wuhun room, the retreat duo of Jiming and Li Fengxian ended their 2-hour retreat. Zhang Jiming laughed and said, those fools are going to be repaired badly. Go watch the battle, and watch it in retreat. Agreed. Time passed little by little. 1:30 p.m. Yi Feng ate dinner, took a bath and came to the martial arts area of Taikyo University refreshed. In the university, students are encouraged to exchange ideas, but it must be carried out in the fighting area. There are a total of 1 big, 2 small and 3 arenas in the Wudo area. As soon as he arrived at the martial arts area, Yi Feng saw densely packed heads. There are new ones and there are old ones. Look at Yi Feng here. Ah, he's Yi Feng. He's so handsome. I think he has a strong aura. Mom, I can't close my legs. Yi Feng, I'm your girlfriend Lu Yu. After seeing Yi Feng, all the freshmen gathered around at the same time. These new students can only stay in the outer edge of the martial arts area, and the old students have occupied their seats in advance. Zhang Duer walked over and said, Yi Feng, we all support you as a freshman. That's right, today we have to let the old students know that our new students also have leaders. Lin Hao said excitedly. In the previous welcome ceremony for the new students, Lin Hao was beaten a lot. Yi Feng, Lao Zuo and I will help you. GTN said solemnly. You just need to cheer me on from below. Yi Feng said and walked towards the biggest ring. A group of freshmen followed Yi Feng, all excited. A group of old students beside the ring looked at Yi Feng at the same time. He's Yi Feng. Oh, arrogant enough. It really doesn't take our old students seriously. HMPH, there will be a time when he will cry. I don't need the juniors, seniors and seniors to take action later. I, Luo Hao, can teach him a lesson. Unlike the high mood of the freshmen, the old students are generally unhappy. Especially those juniors and seniors, although they didn't say it, they were already thinking about how to deal with Yi Feng. 0. Under everyone's attention, Yi Feng stepped into the ring. Immediately, he said loudly, Senior and classmates, I am Yi Feng, the new president of the student union. We will start at 2 o'clock on time. Those who think I'm not qualified, you can come up if you don't feel good about me. Our friendship is the first and the game is second. Yi Feng, no need for other seniors to take action. I, Luo Hao, will be the first to fight. A curly-haired youth said lightly. Master Luo, this arena is very slippery, be careful. Yi Feng complained, then said, you are not qualified. As soon as this statement came out, the audience instantly boiled. Luo Hao's face was extremely ugly, looking for death. Speaking of going to the stage. At this moment, there was a commotion from behind. Immediately, Luo Hao looked back and saw that it was Gong Qingyu, Jiming and Li Fengxian. It has to be said that the aura of the 3 people is still strong. Both new and old students were silent at the same time. Some new students look with admiration, while many old students show fear. Luo Hao, you are quite a showman. Li Fengxian said lightly, would you like to warm up with me first? Luo Hao's expression froze and he smiled and said, Brother Li, how can I be your opponent, isn't this new student too crazy? Luo Hao, President Yi said that it will start at 2 o'clock, that is 2 o'clock. Gong Qingyu said kindly, if you don't give face to President Yi, you won't give face to the student council, or you won't give face to the former president of me. Wow, after Gong Qingyu finished speaking, the old students present were all in an uproar. Obviously, Gong Qingyu and the others are here to cheer for Yi Feng. But why? The old students present did not think that Yi Feng had the strength to be on an equal footing with Gong Qingyu. Even if they went to the secret realm of chaos together, it would not be enough. At this time, a few more people walked out of the crowd. It was Qi Yuanshou, Zhou Kai and Shang Jun. Next to the three were two seniors, both of whom were in the same class as Gong Qingyu. Yi Feng, why not make a bet? Qi Yuanshou raised the corner of his mouth slightly and said, let's compete in 5 games, you can win any 2 games out of 5 games, this chairman is yours, and our staff will support you unreservedly. But if you lose, then this position will be returned to us, and we will choose it internally. Yi Feng smiled. This senior, everyone's time is precious, it's a waste of time to play 5 games, just 1 game to decide the outcome. As soon as these words came out, Qi Yuanshou and others were stunned. In their plan, 5 games is the best choice. On the one hand, it can show the strength and status of the old man, and on the other hand, it can also suppress Yi Feng more. If there is only 1 game, Yi Feng will definitely lose. But that doesn't make it interesting to lose several games in a row. Li Fengxian and Ji Ming looked at each other, thinking that they would have a good fight, so they directly picked the most powerful crush. Or junior brother Yi can play. In their hearts, whether it is Qi Yuanshou, Shang Jun, Zhou Kai, or anyone else is not Yi Feng's opponent. In the previous chaotic secret realm, they had seen Yi Feng's methods. Although Yi Feng was only a freshman, Yi Feng was definitely number 1 in terms of difficulty. Zhang Jiji made a plan, if she played all her cards, she might not be able to win Yi Feng. Gong Qingyu also laughed, calling everyone together and picking the strongest one to fight is a really good strategy. On a big tree next to the martial arts area, Ji Yu Qinru, in white clothes fluttering like a fairy, was born standing on a branch with beautiful eyes and a smile. This old fifth is out of the limelight. If I only play 120 games, I'm afraid Shang Jun will play, then Yi Feng will have no chance. Beside Ji Yu Qinru, the fair-skinned Lan Duowei in a white shirt, jeans and shorts said while nibbling on the chicken feet, Senior Sister 3, why don't I go to help the 5th one later? Ji Yu Qian gave Lan Duowei a soft white look and said, silly 4th, if you help, it will not be a fair fight. Also, I don't think the 5th has a chance to win. Yi Feng can even dodge the pursuit of Zhao bombing at the top of the diamond, and it is only a dream for Shangjun and his like to win the younger brother. Oh, yes, does the 3rd sister eat chicken feet? The corners of Lan Duowei's mouth were oily, and her big eyes were very moving. Ji Yu Qinru was speechless and ignored the foodie. Yi Feng, are you sure about a match? Shang Jun took a step forward and said lightly, you won't have a chance after 1 match. Zhang Jiji ordered hearing the words to analyze online. Shang Jun is trying to trick you into playing more games, so that you can be embarrassed. Shang Jun's face turned red, and Mad knew what he had to do to expose me. Hee, those who are clean are self-cleaning. In the end, Shang Jun used a more general phrase to cover up his embarrassment. Yes, only 1 game. Yi Feng said. Shang Jun and Qi Yuanshou looked at each other and felt a little difficult for a while. If they went directly, wouldn't they be too bullying? Moreover, Gong Qingyu ordered them all to watch. If it really happened to him, what if Gong Qingyu and the others didn't recognize him? Who is better to send? After a few moments of eye contact, Master Luo, a sophomore, took the initiative to walk over. Several seniors, I am Luo Hao requesting to play. Luo Hao added, I have fought in the ring many times before, and sometimes there is a knife underneath, and I have a lot of experience. Qi Yuanshou glanced at Luo Hao. This man is the type who talks a lot, and is quite famous in his sophomore year. The strength is also good, gold 2 stars. This is very strong among sophomores. If that's the case, then you can go. Shangjun expressed his appreciation. Luo Shuidi, if you defeated Yi Feng in this battle, then you will become famous. Quote. Luo Hao's eyes lit up with excitement. However, his face was still stern. Senior, don't worry, as an old student, it is right for me to maintain my reputation as an old student. Yi Feng is not in a hurry, it's only 1:50 now, and it's 2 o'clock if you say 2 o'clock. After discussing for a while, Luo Hao was sent out. Seeing this, Gong Qingyu shook his head secretly, sending Luo Hao's words to the point where he might not even be able to test Yi Feng's strength. Luo Hao's fighting spirit is high, and today is his battle of fame. Even if others say that he is bullying the small, but as long as he wins, a lot of the fame Yi Feng has accumulated recently will be diverted to him. The more I think about it, the happier Luo Hao smiles. At exactly 2 o'clock, Shang Jun looked at Yi Feng. Yi Feng, we send the sophomore Luo Hao to fight. Come on, Luo Hao. Brother Hao, kill him. Some sophomores hurriedly encouraged Luo Hao. Luo Hao enjoyed the feeling of being sought after by everyone, especially today there are so many people. Yu Guang glanced at the audience and Luo Hao was even more excited when he saw Yu Qingyan, the head of the Elements Institute. This is a big man, and it is extremely rare to see him on weekdays. This time I want not only to win, but also to win beautifully. Luo Hao took a deep breath and muttered. After entering the ring, all eyes turned to Luo Hao at the same time, and Luo Hao was a little nervous for a while. Please, Yi Feng was a little helpless. His original intention was to let Shang Jun and the others go up together, and directly crush them with a single move. That would be shocking, and only then would they be able to completely subdue them. But since Shang Jun and others will be wrong, let's warm up first. Yi Feng, let's fight quickly, be careful. Luo Hao snorted lowly with a martial soul possessed. Roar! A black wild boar phantom appeared, and this was his martial spirit, the crazy snow pig. Brother Hao is mighty. Come on, kill him with one move. Go on, Yi Shen, and defeat all the old students. The new and old students shouted at the same time. This was a scene that Luo Hao had never experienced before. A feeling that I was also a man of the moment surged from my heart, and the next moment, a yellow spirit ring appeared under my feet. Call out. However, at this moment, Yi Feng teleported. When Luo Hao and even most people didn't react, the Void Dragon Eagle's wings slapped Luo Hao violently. Whoosh! Luo Hao flew down the ring like an arrow from the string. Snapped! Lao Sheng's shouts and cheers covered Luo Hao's face on the ground. Although Yi Feng didn't use martial spirit, the wings of the Void Dragon Eagle are also of the space attribute, and it was easy to hit an injured Luo Hao. The whole place was so quiet. Shang Jun, Qi Yuanshou and the others all widened their eyes and were dumbfounded. And those sophomores who cheered Luo Hao's brains were blank. What the hell? How did Luo Hao fall? Zhang Jiming laughed loudly. Ha ha ha, Shangjun, you guys send a piece of garbage out for a fart, it's not enough to stuff Yi Feng between his teeth. Luo Hao lay still on the ground. Not in a coma, but embarrassed. Until now, he hadn't seen how Yi Feng made his move. Although the injury was minor, the outcome was already clear. Master Luo is not seriously injured, get up. Yi Feng shouted. Luo Hao had to get up reluctantly, his face flushed a little and said, this arena is too slippery, one of them fell down accidentally. Under the ring, Qi Yuanshou sighed. It's not like this Luo Hao is too careless. HMPH, if there's a knife underneath he's dead. Zhou Kai said dissatisfiedly. I shouldn't have sent him just now, let me go. Shang Jun and Qi Yuanshou didn't object. Luo Hao lost so fast that he didn't even test Yi Feng's strength. This wave of face is lost. Did you misunderstand me? Seeing that Zhou Kai was about to take the stage, Yi Feng said, the one game I'm talking about refers to the fact that both of you will come together, and those old and new students who are unconvinced can come. Zhou Kai's footsteps are stagnant. Shang Jun and Qi Yuanshou's eyes widened when they heard the words, as if they thought they had heard it wrong. He said he would challenge Shangjun to all of them. Too arrogant. Arrogance is king, why aren't young people arrogant? Worry, Yi Feng, how did he swell to such a degree, he is dying. People have a chance to die anyway, who would take care of us instead? After hearing Yi Feng's words, the audience was in an uproar. Obviously, Yi Feng didn't expect Yi Feng to do it this way. The three of Gong Qingyu were also stunned. This. Li Fengxian was stunned. Mada is a good idea, why can't I think of such a second way? Immediately, he looked at Yi Feng with a hint of vigilance. This guy is not inferior to me in terms of IQ, he is a formidable enemy. Is Yi Feng crazy? It was unacceptable that Hu Yuru opened her small mouth in the freshman. You must know that Xiangjun and the three of them are all solid gold 7 stars. This kind of strength is the top group anywhere. Yi Feng, you have figured it out. Xiangjun was instantly happy when he heard the words, are you sure you can stand it? Haha, did I hear it right? Qi Yuanshou scratched his ears. Could this guy ever play in the ring? Yi Feng said indifferently. My time is very precious, seniors, let's make a quick decision. This is my line. Luo Hao felt hot on his face. He suspected that Yi Feng was humiliating himself, but there was no evidence. Old Fifth is awesome. Ji Yu Chinru's eyes lit up. Domineering, too domineering. But you can't beat it. Lan Duowei rubbed her chin and said, Senior sister, shouldn't the fifth one hide his strength? Ji Yu Chinru smiled and said, it should be, otherwise he wouldn't say such a thing. After a pause, Ji Yu Qian Judo, this guy is really looking forward to. He, the third senior sister and the fifth one belong to me, you are not allowed to rob it. Lan Duowei said with a smile. Ji Yu Chinru, oh, tell the boss about this. Under the ring, Jitian and Zuo Chohan were stunned. A group of people beat Yi Feng. Even if they were beaten to death, they didn't dare to go up, that would really be beaten to death. Ji Ming sneered and said, brother, you should all learn from Yi Feng, cowardice is useless. You can do it. Jitian doesn't think so. Zhang Jiji didn't speak anymore, and Mad, the younger brother, didn't get itchy for a few days. Yi Feng, do as you wish. Xiangjun and Qi Yuanshou looked at each other, and the latter said, but if you get hurt, don't blame us. Yi Feng nodded. Well, come on. Whether it is space cutting or death and decay, it is a range attack. No matter how many people you come here today, you are not human. Xiangjun laughed angrily, and stood on the ring without saying a word. Then Qi Yuanshou and Zhou Kai stepped onto the ring in turn. Just the three of you. Yi Feng shook his head. You come together. Yi Feng pointed out a few old students, all of whom were juniors or seniors. Wei Buhao, Wei Kuiyang and others who were named by Yi Feng were immediately furious. Junior, since you can say that you are not convinced, then we will go. Several more seniors, 3 and 4 entered the ring. In a blink of an eye, there were more than 20 people standing on the ring. On the roof of the teaching building, Yu Qingyan and a middle-aged woman beside him said, if Yi Feng can win this battle today, he will reach the peak, and no one in the younger generation of the human race can compare with him. As the strong, they value the situation very much. This can be understood as the general trend, but also as momentum. If Yi Feng can defeat Xiangjun and the others, Yi Feng's invincibility will be completely formed. The middle-aged woman is Jian Rong, the dean of the Beast Spirit Academy. Jian Rong nodded and said, it's a pity it's a bit late, otherwise, it would be interesting if he participated in the Battle of the Buddha. Yes, Yu Qingyan nodded. The battlefield of the Buddha is the frontal battlefield of the new generation of human race and the Junwu dynasty. The Junwu dynasty was one of the kingdoms of soul beasts in the Shira world, and it was also the main force currently fighting against the human race. Although there were 28 people standing on the ring, it was already very spacious. Seeing that no one came up, Yi Feng said, if that's the case, let's start. The moment the voice fell, Yi Feng's martial soul was possessed. Om, a space ripple spread out. Immediately, everyone's expressions changed. White and silver 9 stars. Xiangjun's shock can't be added, when did he become silver? Oh my god. Zhang Duoer and Hu Yuru opened their mouths wide. It's too dreamy, isn't it? Isn't it silver 1 star? Worthy. Jitian and Zuo Chohan were dumbfounded. They worked so hard during the summer vacation to increase 1 star, but Yi Feng went straight to 9 silver. For a time, both of them were a little suspicious. Are we participating in the same special training camp? Wow, Lan Duowei's eyes lit up. Silver is 9. With his leapfrog combat ability, there may be some opportunities. Ji Yu Chinru's beautiful eyes showed a smile. Teacher is also true, such a good junior brother did not introduce us in advance. Lan Duowei nodded frantically. What about the senior? Some juniors who asked themselves to be good at strength were suddenly unable to ride a tiger. Many of them were made up, but Yifeng turned out to be Silver 9. At Silver 1, you can control and kill Gold 1. Although the gold level gap is bigger, how can you win Gold 5? But there are quite a few people who have just reached 5 gold stars. No wonder he wants us to come on together. Qi Yuanshou took a deep breath and suddenly smiled. That's good, otherwise people will think we are bullying others. The moment the voice fell, Qi Yuanshou's martial spirit was possessed. Boom! At the moment when the shadow of the war bear appeared from behind, Qi Yuanshou's body quickly rose up, and in the blink of an eye, it grew to 2 meters. The whole body is covered with brown hair and looks domineering. Shang Jun and Zhou Kai also possessed spirits. The former is a weapon spirit axe, while the latter is a plant spirit ice star tree. After the 3 people possessed their martial spirits, Wei Kuiyang and other old students were swept away by the shock brought by Yifeng's 9-star silver. Wei Buhao laughed and said, if 9 silver stars is his confidence, then he will be disappointed. Come on, or we won't have a chance to shoot, Wei Kuiyang said and strode forward. Suddenly everyone moved at the same time. Shang Jun's eyes flashed with a daze when he saw Yifeng's did peak, but then he fell with a bang. At this moment, dozens of attacks were fired at the same time, targeting Yifeng. Come on. Yifeng just glanced at it casually, and immediately thought about it. Move the void. Boom. A terrifying power of space instantly enveloped everyone in the ring. As the light flickered, the 2 sides switched positions. Those soul skills that were either strong attack or strong control were originally used on Yifeng, but with the help of void shift, they returned the battle. Even Yinwei Tianhe can be recruited, let alone Shangjun and the others. Bang! PFF'd. Shang Jun and the others didn't even react to the accurate hits of various attacks. Yifeng just completed the switch of martial arts. Immediately, the power of time filled the air, and the deep purple time holy tortoise spirit ring emerged from under his feet. The eternal barrier is activated. Clang! The loud and powerful bell rang, and Shangjun and the others were instantly frozen. At the moment when everyone was bound by the eternal knot, Yifeng stood silently on the ring like a god walking in the long river of time. The scene at this time was a little weird. Shangjun and other 28 old students maintained their previous actions. Even some soul skills were affected by the eternal barrier before they had time to hit. The whole place was silent. Luo Hao and other old students were stunned. And those freshmen opened their mouths one by one and were shocked beyond words. This is also. GTN was so shocked that he didn't know what to say. He also thought that Yifeng would definitely lose, but he lost more dashingly. At most, it's just a few hard fights to win. But the scene in front of him was beyond his imagination. GTN didn't even know why Yifeng was able to control so many people at once. Zuo Chohan's blue eyes on the side were full of horror. Such opponents are terrible. He's going to kill you, and you don't even know you're dead. My God, how strong. Lan Duowei's eyes widened, unable to care about the snacks in her hand. Ji Yuqian's tender body trembled lightly, and immediately said, it's really amazing. Whether it is the first soul skill or the latter, it is a divine skill in the battlefield. As one of the masters who were about to participate in the Battle of the Buddha, Ji Yuqinru felt great joy at Yifeng's performance. Just imagine if Yifeng also went to the Buddha battlefield, would the others dare to fight with all their strength? If a large piece of it is fixed, then she shouldn't be too easy to kill. Sharp. Yu Qingyan and Jian Rong sighed at the same time. If Yifeng becomes a master one day, it will definitely be a nightmare for soul beasts. In the shock of everyone, the eternal barrier was lifted. Immediately, the attacks that had not yet had time to hit in turn. The man who was about to fall fell to the ground with a thud. From extremely quiet to people turning their backs, it has formed a strong visual impact. Ah, it hurts. What the hell is going on? Hey, wasn't I at the edge of the ring just now? Why did I come here? I got hit by my own attack. Everyone was dumbfounded. And after seeing Yifeng, Shang Jun's face became extremely ugly. He knew that he lost. All lose. Zhang Jiming sneered without hesitation. Ahaha, a bunch of idiots, they already knew that you couldn't win. If you have to go up and humiliate yourself, you deserve it, haha. Gong Qingyu had a smile on his face. In his opinion, Yifeng was invincible even with only these 2 soul skills. In fact, Yifeng's other 2 soul skills with terrifying power have not yet been released. Whether it is the death and decay or the space cutting, once it is released, I am afraid that everyone in the ring will die silently. Yifeng looked at the people with complicated expressions and said, "Seniors, do you want to continue?" Qi Yuanshou's face turned red, embarrassed. A group of strong men among the old students besieged a new student, but as a result, they didn't even touch their hair. How did you win just now? Wei Kuiyang looked bewildered. He could vaguely feel that his attack should have been counterattacked by Yifeng using some kind of soul skill. As for the fact that it was later solidified by the eternal enchantment, he had no idea at all. Want to know? Yifeng's mouth rose slightly. Come here, I'll tell you. Wei Kuiyang stopped talking and suddenly felt a stomachache. Seeing this, Wei Buhao whispered. Fortunately, he didn't do anything ruthless. As soon as this statement came out, many people reacted. Yes, the previous state was clearly that they were controlled, although they did not know what spirit skills they used. But Yifeng did not continue to attack them when his side was under control. This is already very face-to-face. Thinking of this, everyone was even more convinced. Many people looked at Yifeng with a bit of surprise. Is this person really a freshman? Those who didn't know it thought it was a senior who had already graduated. Yifeng, we lost. 33. Shang Jun had a bitter look on his face, wishing he could find a crack to burrow in. I think Shang Jun is also a great genius, and a leader in my senior year, but the result is, hey. Is there anyone out there who wants to come up? Yifeng looked around the audience and stopped at Luo Hao for a while. Luo Hao's expression froze and he said, the president is very powerful. I'm a little sick today, let's do it another day. Well, you are also insinuating tricks. Yifeng said. Since this is the case, then the student council president should have no objection. Everyone shook their heads at the same time. As for the freshmen of the freshman year, they were all excited and flushed with excitement. Did you see, Mud? This is our new life. See who will dare to look down on us in the future. Ha Yi God is domineering. He won 30 out of 11, it's a miracle, it's a miracle. Yifeng rolled his eyes when he heard the words, Mada and I are not playing on behalf of freshmen. Aren't these guys afraid of being beaten by the old man after they jumped like this? Since it's gone, the student council members will go to the meeting with me. With a big wave of Yifeng's hand, he was going to be the hand-swinging shopkeeper. Being the president of Yifeng is not for work. That being the case, you have to find someone who can work. Gong Qingyu suddenly had a bad premonition upon hearing this. This guy, why does he feel so unreliable? Under the awe of everyone, Yifeng flapped the wings of the void dragon eagle and left. However, before they went far, 2 girls, one big and one small, blocked Yifeng's way. Well, the big and small here are not age. Yifeng narrowed his eyes and asked, why did you guys come late and didn't catch up? He thought that Ji Qinru and Lan Duowei were going to challenge himself. The former challenger behind him, the current number 1 horseboy Luo Hao immediately followed. President, that is teacher Ji Yu, and the one next to him who just graduated is Lan Duowei. What? Yifeng was stunned that he didn't quite understand the meaning of the 2 blocking the way. Ji Qinru looked at Yifeng up and down, and then said softly, the 5th, we are all students of teacher Wang, my name is Ji Qinru, and I am the 3rd student accepted by the teacher. I'm Lan Duowei, in front of you. Lan Duowei said with a smile. Yifeng's eyes gradually widened. When Wang Quan accepted Yifeng as a student, he mentioned that he still has 4 students. Yifeng was not very interested in this. First, I've been very busy recently, and second, what's the benefit of having a bunch of big men? But after seeing Ji Qinru and Lan Duowei, Yifeng felt that he was careless. They are all under the same teacher, shouldn't they move around more? Cough. Hello 2 seniors. Yifeng came back to his senses, his eyes bright. Good. Ji Qinru and Lan Duowei suddenly laughed. Especially Lan Duowei. The 3 senior sisters often tease her on weekdays, but now she is also a daughter-in-law, and she can also tease the little ones. You are waiting for me in the conference room. Yifeng turned around and said to Luo Haoqi, Yuanshou and others. Good President. Chairman, let's go first. Yi Feng shouted one by one before, but now the president doesn't leave his mouth. Fifth junior brother, let's take you to our place. Ji Yu Qian said softly. Ahem, it's not good to go to the room the first time we meet. Yi Feng touched his nose. The mouth said no, but the body was very honest. Senior sister, where do you live? Lan Duowei rolled her eyes at Yi Feng and said, why are you going to the room? Now is not the time to sleep. Good guy, this fourth senior sister doesn't seem to have a good mind. Yi Feng had a clear understanding in his heart. Ji Yu Qinru said softly, fifth junior brother, you will know when you go. Ji Yu Qinru had a rare sale. After a while, the three people came to a loft with a simple shape. Surrounded by the relatively modern buildings of Taikyo University, this old-looking attic is a bit awkward to place here. Lingay, Yi Feng was slightly taken aback when he saw the plaque. I didn't think there was such a building in the school. Ji Yu Qinru smiled sweetly. This spiritual pavilion was brought here by the teacher from the depths of the Asura world. What? Yi Feng's face changed slightly. The Shira world is a world of soul beasts, why are there human buildings? And this spirit pavilion is definitely an old antique, just look at the moss and rotten smell on it. After three people entered the Lingay. Surprisingly, there was no one in this huge attic. It's a bit out of tune with the bustling world outside. Could it be that the two senior sisters brought me here to tell me something? Yi Feng sensed that there was indeed no one in this spirit pavilion. Fifth junior brother is so smart, you guessed it all at once. Lan Duowei was a little surprised. That's why you're stupid. Yi Feng rolled his eyes and was too lazy to deal with the not-so-smart fourth senior sister. The three sat down in the attic hall. Ji Yu Qian Judo, fifth junior brother, did the teacher arrange a task for you? Task? Yi Feng looked blank. No, do you have any? Ji Yu Qinru nodded. The four of us have our own tasks. Wei Wei and I's tasks have just ended, and your senior sister and second senior sister also have their own tasks. Senior sister, do you mean that the teacher will also give me tasks later? Yi Feng asked. Lan Duowei was shocked. This fifth junior brother is too smart, how can he know everything? I do not know either. Ji Yu Qinru said. Actually, this Lingay is where our sisters and sisters submit their tasks. Did you see that staircase? If you complete the task, the door will open and you can put things in. If you don't have a mission, you can't open that door. Could it be that old Wang is secretly doing something? Yi Feng murmured in his heart and asked, Teacher, what's the use of bringing back the Lingay? Lan Duowei immediately shook her head and said she didn't know. Ji Yu Qinru smiled and said, you have to ask the teacher about this. Fifth junior brother, it seems that you are not quite the same as the four of us. Yi Feng listened in a fog. Of course I'm different from you nonsense, I'll take it. But he didn't say it out. Are the two senior sisters looking for me mainly for this? Yes, but mainly to get to know you. Lan Duowei said. My third senior sister and I have no assignments for the time being, and we will be in school during this time. Fifth junior brother, if you have any questions, you can ask me. Is it taught by a substitute teacher? Yi Feng is naturally happy. That's great, I'll have to trouble the two senior sisters in the future. It should be. Ji Yu Qinru has always been as gentle as water. 5 junior brothers, if you have any questions in the future, you can come to Lingay, and several senior sisters also live here on weekdays. After chatting with the two of them, Yi Feng returned to the student union. In the meeting room of the student union, Qi Yuanshou and the others yawned. They have been waiting for 40 minutes. Wei Kuiyang muttered in his heart, shouldn't the president be called to drink tea by the teacher? Squeak. Just then the door to the conference room opened. President Yi is here. All the cadres looked at the past at the same time. Yi Feng glanced at the crowd and asked directly, who was the vice chairman in the Gong Shicheng era? Qi Yuanshou and Zhou Kai looked at each other, and immediately said, President, it's the two of us. What do the students usually do? Yi Feng added, I'm referring to the president and vice president. Qi Yuanshou explained, President, the student union has 3 main tasks. One is to contact students and carry out some club activities, such as inviting teachers to give targeted lectures, etc. On the other hand, poor students will be taught. Of course, this is only for students who have joined the association. The second is the communication with other schools. Qi Yuanshou's words were rough, but in fact there were a lot of details. Yi Feng didn't intend to listen to those nonsense, and said with satisfaction, "Yes, I know the work inside the meeting very well." As soon as these words came out, several people rolled their eyes wildly. "Ma Deming, you pretended to be with us even though you didn't know anything." "Recently, I'm going to retreat and practice, so I'll leave the affairs of the meeting to the two vice presidents," Yi Feng said. "Dismiss the meeting." Everyone was a little stunned. "This is the end. It's just a few words." Qi Yuanshou and Zhou Kai were stunned for a moment, then the former was overjoyed and the latter looked surprised. "President, all the freshmen are enrolled. How do you see how the enrollment will be carried out?" Zhou Kai hurriedly said. "Is there any adjustment to the use of membership fees this year?" "Consult yourselves. Yi Feng likes to be a hands-off shopkeeper. Just give me a message if you really are undecided." Cough cough. "You have worked hard. I will give you a raise in return." Turning to leave, everyone looked at each other in dismay. "Mad, how could we have wages?" "Yes, what's next?" Zhou Kai has some headaches. Usually, Gong Qingyu is in charge of many important matters, and it is a little uncomfortable to hand it over to them suddenly. "It's all over. If it really doesn't work, let's go and ask Qingyu," Qi Yuanshou said. As soon as this statement appeared in front of everyone's eyes, it brightened. Yes, everything will be business as usual. Yes, the former chairman is still there. In the dormitory, Gong Qingyu sneezed and suddenly had a bad feeling. Seoul Origin Hall is located in the southwest of Taikyo University. This is the place where teachers, deans, and hospital guards live, and it is very clean on weekdays. After entering the Hall of Seoul Origin, the teacher in charge of guarding looked surprised. Yi Feng. He hardly goes out on weekdays, but he also knows Yi Feng. Yi Feng nodded and said, "Mr. Shi, I am now the president of the student council, and I have come to use the Seoul Origin Hall." Shi Hao turned on the computer to verify it and smiled. "You can go in. By the way, it is best not to use it for more than 1 hour for the first time. Otherwise it's easy to get lost in it." Yi Feng immediately became cautious when he saw that there was still a risk. "What does Teacher Shi say?" Shi Hao immediately interpreted the precautions. Yi Feng suddenly said, "Thank you, Teacher Shi. There are 5 halls in Seoul Origin Hall, which are divided into 5 categories according to Wuhun." Yi Feng first found the Hall of Weapons and Souls, and immediately opened the door. As soon as I entered, I saw 4 or 5 teachers sitting cross-legged in the hall. There is light flowing in every teacher. Yi Feng knew that this was a defensive formation, to prevent people from being disturbed during enlightenment. Yi Feng found a place to sit down at random, and then pressed the button in front of him. Suddenly a strange scene appeared. Shish! A dazzling light mask enveloped Yi Feng, and the scene in the hall suddenly disappeared. The scenery on the mask changed, and a scene of wild woods was quickly simulated. Holographic simulation. Yi Feng got up subconsciously and found that he could move. No, this is. When Yi Feng walked around, he found that it was not as simple as a holographic simulation. This seems to be a kind of illusion. Or is it some kind of fantasy soul skill? In short, it gave Yi Feng a very real feeling, which was no different from the real wild. The information has been entered. Please choose Yi Feng, the student council president, to choose a martial soul. At this moment, a big screen appeared in front of Yi Feng. Since Yi Feng entered the Weapon Spirit Hall, only weapon spirits can be selected here. Yi Feng looked it over and exclaimed, "It's a big deal. The human race has done a lot of hard work and work since the awakening of their martial souls." Yi Feng easily found his nihilistic sword because it was the #1 weapon in spirit list, so it was directly ranked first. Selection complete. Loading. The mechanically synthesized female voice said. Buzz. The space in front of Yi Feng trembled, followed by a familiar martial spirit that could no longer be familiar. Void God Sword. Yi Feng's eyes skyrocketed. This is completely different from the feeling of Wahanfeng, it is fake and virtual. But the Void God Sword in front of him is real and can no longer be real. The origin of the martial soul comes from the power of the martial soul. Yi Feng stared at the sword of nothingness in front of him and grabbed it. Unlike his own martial soul possession, Yi Feng felt like he was wearing a prosthetic limb in front of this sword of nothingness. I probably understand the usage of Soul Origin Hall. Yi Feng chuckled lightly. comprehend other people's nihilistic swords and understand the connection between the origins of their martial arts. Then cooperate with the secret method of controlling the soul to quickly improve the fit of the martial arts. I have to say, whoever came up with this method is a genius. Yi Feng looked at the nihilistic sword in his hand and waved it at the lush trees. Boom! 1,000-meter-long terrifying blade fell from the sky. Large tracts of trees collapsed, and the spirit beasts in the forest screamed incessantly. There was even a kilometer-long crack on the ground, and the sky was full of dust, so the authenticity should not be too high. The senior Guan Junshin from 300 years ago should be very powerful, right? Yi Feng was surprised. This casual knife has such an effect, what if you use a soul skill? Great place, great place. Yi Feng was very excited, and immediately began to practice the secret technique of controlling the soul. At the same time, the magic capital, the Wu family. Wu Sesong felt refreshed after taking a bath. Dad, are you looking for me? Wu Sesong pushed open the door of Wu Zhonglin's study and said. Wu Zhonglin gave Wu Sesong a strange look. Sit. After being seated, Wu Sesong saw that the water in Wu Zhonglin's cup was running out and added more. Dad, what's the matter? It's nothing. Wu Zhonglin considered his words and said, what do you think of our Wu family? Although he didn't quite understand why his father asked this, Wu Sesong still said, it's just like the sun. Wu Zhonglin nodded. Dad is just your son. In the future, maybe soon the Wu family will need you to take control. Wu Sesong didn't speak. He vaguely felt that Dad might really have something important to explain today. Son, this trip to the secret realm of chaos. Wu Zhonglin looked slightly hesitant, and then he said, how do you feel? Okay, Wu Sesong said. I still have a lot of room for improvement, and this year I will strive for a golden consummation. Cough, Dad is going to introduce you to a friend. Wu Zhonglin gave Wu Sesong a deep look. What do you think of Chen Tiexin from the Chen family? Wu Sesong was stunned. Immediately, his eyes gradually widened. Dad, Chen Tiexin is a man. He couldn't understand what kind of shit his dad was doing. I have a very normal orientation. What do you mean by introducing me to a man? As for the Chen family, which is much worse than the Wu family, there is no need to form an alliance because the strength of the two sides is not equal. Oh, I've heard about the Chaos Secret Realm. Wu Zhonglin looked at his son kindly and said, Dad neither object nor support your hobby. In Wu Zhonglin's opinion, he is already extremely enlightened. My own son is that shit, and I give him the same help. Is there a better father in the world than me? Wu Sesong's face instantly turned green. Mad, even my dad knows. Who the hell said that? For a time, Wu Sesong was embarrassed and just wanted to find a seam to get in. You arrange a time, and I will show you guys. Wu Zhonglin said. Wu Sesong almost died on the spot. Dad, don't listen to people's nonsense, nothing. Others don't understand, don't you understand me? Wu Zhonglin chuckled. Is there any truth in what Principal Chu said personally? Principal Chu also knows. Wu Sesong's voice suddenly rose, and he suddenly felt that it was really boring to live. Point 0. Wu Sesong's head turned rapidly, but after thinking about it, he found that Yi Feng's guys were all possible. No, maybe Shen Yunkang is also possible. Son, Dad didn't care much about your life in the past, I will pay more attention in the future. Wu Zhonglin felt a little guilty. Dad, really no, I'm not that kind of person. Wu Sesong wanted to cry without tears. 1 hour later, Yi Feng subconsciously glanced at the time and suddenly woke up. At this moment, there was a faint suction coming from all around. This power is not physical, but spiritual. Constantly pulling Yi Feng attracted Yi Feng's attention. Yi Feng got up with a loud noise, and immediately closed the simulated illusion without ignoring the practice of the soul-controlling secret technique. The light flickered, the incomparably realistic field simulation disappeared, and Yi Feng returned to the hall again. So close. Cultivation has no time. If Yi Feng was more cautious, he might have forgotten the time. At that moment just now, Yi Feng had a feeling that he wanted to sink into it. Fortunately, Teacher Shi reminded me. Yi Feng murmured. According to what Shi Hao said, Yi Feng rested in place for 1 hour. After an hour, the simulated illusion continued to open. This time there is no suction like before. Unconsciously, Yi Feng had been there for a whole day. With the help of the soul control secret method and the help of the source of the martial soul, Yi Feng's martial soul fit increased rapidly. Now has reached 47%. If it is outside, the 7% increase Yi Feng may take a week or even longer. Just when Yi Feng was immersed in cultivation. Hell. The white-haired and white-bearded Dharma Venerable sat cross-legged, with a crystal-clear chessboard in front of him. Sitting across from him is the elegant and indifferent chess king. The two peerless masters started the game again. After a while. Draw. Pharaoh laughed. The chess king looked at the chessboard and said softly, "The chess game is over, and the people are coming." As soon as the voice fell, the space in front of him suddenly became extremely hot. Immediately, a figure completely condensed by scarlet flames walked out of the void. The flames flowed gently like water waves, and all the spaces it passed were boiling. Dharma Venerable laughed and said, "Girl Suzaku, my divine prison will be burned down by you." Chapter 71. Boom. The flames suddenly converged a lot, but Raoso still burned the void to the boil. "Senior, don't laugh at me." Suzaku's voice was crisp and clear with supreme divine power. "Your divine prison is impregnable, how can I burn down with my little cultivation?" Ha ha. The chess king laughed loudly. You still have sharp teeth and sharp mouths." The flames flowed all over Suzaku, unable to see its true colors. Why did the two seniors call me here? She has to keep an eye on every move of the great dynasties, and she will hardly return on weekdays. This time, he came alone. Fa Zun smiled and said, "The little guy you asked for just got into a fight with a bunch of old students." "Oh," Suzaku said with great interest, "what's the result?" When Yi Feng first awakened his martial spirit, Wang Quan, under his command, reported the situation. After that, Suzaku decided to ask Yi Feng to come. The Dharma Venerable and the chess king had no objection to this, but offered help instead. Hee, 2 moves crushed 28 old students. The chess king said, "The 4 spirit rings are all over 5,000 years old, and the second spirit ring of the time god Zhang Wuhun is as high as 28,000 years. Suzaku, how did you manage to be 20? Dharma Venerable looked at Suzaku. With their strength, they can understand everything that happens in the imperial capital. When Yi Feng defeated Shangjun and the others, both the Dharma Venerable and the chess king saw that Yi Feng's spirit ring was unusual. Subconsciously, Suzaku thought that it was done at a great cost. Suzaku was silent for a moment and was extremely surprised. "Didn't you do it?" Suzaku asked. This remark brought out the rare surprise of the Dharma Venerable and the chess king. Immediately, the latter said, "Falun Dafa and I did not help him, nor did we have the strength." "This is impossible," Suzaku affirmed. "Besides you, no one has this possibility." Even if Dharma Venerable and the chess king could make this move, it was beyond Suzaku's expectations. It is very difficult to increase the age of the spirit ring. Apart from the spirit stone, there is almost no other way. And the spirit real stone is an extremely rare thing, and with Suzaku's means, it only made the first few spirit rings reach 3,000 years old, that's all. The 3 were silent at the same time. There are only 3 of them in this world who can do this, and they have to spend countless costs. But now it's clearly not either of them. Could it be the true martial beast emperor? Suzaku said suddenly. The Junwu beast emperor is the ruler of the Junwu dynasty. The ruler and hegemon of his subordinates are the main force fighting against humans. The Junwu beast emperor is also Suzaku's old opponent. Dharma Venerable stared at the chessboard without saying a word, and immediately asked, "What can seniors see?" The chess king, who has always been in control of everything, shook his head rarely. "The sky is in chaos." The chess king thought for a while and said, "But I have thought of a possibility." Dharma Venerable and Suzaku looked at the chess king at the same time. The chess king smiled slightly, "Maybe that one." As soon as these words came out, Dharma Venerable and Suzaku were startled. The latter was shocked. "He is already dead and cannot be resurrected." "Not necessarily." Venerable Dharma's eyes narrowed slightly. "The god of time is the strongest martial spirit in the world, and I have not fully understood the secrets of it. Even if you get some martial soul sources by chance, it's still a lot worse." "You mean that Emperor Li Qing is not actually dead?" Suzaku said solemnly. "If he is not dead, what is he planning?" "I don't know, although I can see through everything in the world, it doesn't include time." The chess king shook his head. but if it's Emperor Li Qing, then everything makes sense. But why would he do it? With his strength, if he hadn't died, he should be on the same level as us now, even if it's a little weaker. The ape saint has been secretly arguing about something. If Li Qingdi is there, the pressure on the three of us will be less. Suzaku said one after another. Dharma Venerable said, it seems that my old bones should also be active. If we can find Li Qingdi, the three of us can relax a bit. Chess King and Suzaku nodded at the same time. All three have their own responsibilities. Suzaku took Hong Zhen, Yan Wudi and other generals to guard the Shira realm on the front line. The Dharma Venerable is good at fighting and has the ability to suppress everything, so it is most suitable for him to find the clues of Emperor Li Qing. As for the Chess King, he sits in the rear to coordinate everything. 3 days later, after Yi Feng's unremitting efforts, the compatibility of the time god clock and martial spirit finally reached 50%. With a slight tremor, Yi Feng knew that he was qualified to attack the great perfection of silver. Immediately, Yi Feng took out the Holy Spirit pill that had already been prepared. The price of Holy Spirit pill is 10 times that of Po Erden, but Yi Feng doesn't feel bad now that he has money. In the last trip to the secret realm of chaos, in addition to the things needed for the mission, Yi Feng also collected some treasures from heaven and earth. Those were sold to schools. I remember it took a full 7 days for the last breakthrough. I hope it won't be too long this time. Yi Feng said and took the first portion. Taking medicinal pills in a simulated illusion is still beneficial to Yi Feng's breakthrough. At the moment when the medicinal pill entered, although the pain had already begun, the speed of the medicinal effect seemed to be faster. Great! Yi Feng was overjoyed, and immediately began to fully impact the great perfection. Cultivation has no time, and 3 days have passed in a blink of an eye. Yi Feng felt a sense of joy in his heart, and the fit of the Void God Sword Spirit has officially reached its limit. It's alright, it should take 8 or 9 days for 2 martial spirits. This time Yi Feng prepared more and bought 20 directly. And Yi Feng estimates that according to the current situation, 5 or 6 more will be enough. After a short rest, Yi Feng began to improve the compatibility of the time clock. 6 days later, in the principal's office, Wang Quan looked at the report in front of him with a strange expression. This kid is surprising every time. He already knew the performance of Yi Feng and the old students in the ring. At this time, Wang Quan's heart was unbelievable. He remembered that Taikyo University had never been so successful since its establishment. At this time, Wang Quan snorted and looked at the Soul Origin Hall in the distance. After sensing it carefully, Wang Quan smiled and immediately picked up the phone. What are you doing, old king? There was a thunderous sound on the phone. Wang Quan looked at the report in his hand and said, Yi Feng is complete. Have you found the soul beast you were looking for? Ha, don't worry about my old Hong's work. Hong Zhen said happily. Come on, there should be news in the next 1 or 2 days. Wang Quan was extremely satisfied, and this old Hong was still reliable. After hanging up the phone, Wang Quan appeared outside the Soul Origin Hall in a flash. In the hall of Soul Origin Hall, Yi Feng got up and moved his muscles. The crackling of the joints all over the body made Yi Feng feel very comfortable. This breakthrough to the great perfection was much faster than Yi Feng expected, and all this was due to the Soul Origin Hall. As soon as he walked out of the hall, Wang Quan greeted him. Yi Feng, take you to Lao Hong's place for a walk. Yi Feng was stunned for a moment, and immediately thought of the scene he had met with this bloody warden earlier. Pick up wool. Yi Feng raised his brows. You would say. Wang Quan laughed and scolded. It's just this principle. Wang Quan paused for a while and continued. During this period of time, I asked Hong Zhen's old boy to pay attention. He said that there should be news in the next 2 days. Wang Quan knew that Yi Feng had obtained Yanwei Tianhe's soul ring. Therefore, Hong Zhen's main target was the space-type soul beast. Of course, it's not that he didn't pay attention to the time-type soul beast. It's just that this category is too rare. Even with Hong Zhen's cultivation base, it is not so easy to find. Even in Wang Quan's opinion, there may be no time-related soul beasts in the Shira world. Teacher, I'll go back and take a bath first. Yi Feng pointed to the sticky clothes and said. During this time, he experienced a lot of pain while taking the Holy Spirit pill, and his clothes were stained with blood. Go come to the office to find me when you're busy," Wang Quan said. After returning to the dormitory, Yi Feng saw another roommate. It was none other than Lin Hao, a classmate from No. 2 Middle School. "Brother Feng, are you back?" Lin Hao was lying on the bed and brushing his phone, and quickly said, "I haven't seen you for several days." Yi Feng nodded and said, "We are quite related. He hasn't been back to the dormitory for a while." "Lin Hao, which class am I in?" Yi Feng asked casually while undressing. "Oh, they are in class 1 with Duoer." Lin Hao suddenly became interested. "Are you going to go to class?" "I just asked casually." After saying that, Yi Feng took the clothes and went into the bathroom. In the principal's office, "Teacher, during this time, I went to Kunlun Mountain again, but I still couldn't find it." Ji Yu Chinru said, "You didn't find him, maybe he has found you." Wang Quan tapped the table with his index finger and said, "In this way, you can tell your senior sister and go to Shenongjia in a few days to see if there may be some clues there." Ji Yu Chinru nodded, and immediately frowned. "Teacher, does the ancient remnant really exist?" During this time, she has been busy looking for the ancient remnants. As for the reason and purpose, Wang Quan did not tell Ji Yu Chinru. It's hard to say, but all parties are looking for help to prepare for the next big war. Wang Quan said, "Do your best to obey the destiny." After a pause, Wang Quan turned and asked, "What do you think about that kid Yi Feng?" Ji Yu Chinru knew what Wang Quan was talking about. "Teacher, I can't see through. But the 5th junior brother is very good. It would be great if you could see through." Wang Quan smiled and said, "Okay, let's go out, and come to me if you have any questions about your cultivation recently." Half an hour later, Yi Feng came to Wang Quan's office refreshed. "Teacher, should I absorb Yinwei Tianhe's spirit ring first?" Yi Feng said. "He's now fully silvered and can't wait to see what the gold looks like." Wang Quan smiled. "It's fine, I'm not in a hurry anyway." As he said that, he casually shot out a soul power that enveloped the entire room. Yi Feng took out the seal of heaven immediately upon seeing this. Yinwei Tianhe's spirit ring is in it. After activating the spirit power, the spirit ring automatically appeared. Wang Quan waved his hand and grabbed it with almost transparent soul power gloves. Yi Feng sat cross-legged in anticipation. At the beginning, he and Zhang Zhiji ordered them to deal with Yinwei Tianhe with all their trump cards. And Yinwei Tianhe's ability is definitely a super card for survival. Such skills are exactly what Yi Feng lacks today. After a while, Yinwei Tianhe's spirit ring began to convey a strong sense of resistance. Wang Quan took out the function stone. After a while, the spirit ring finally quieted down. Under the envelope of Yi Feng's soul power, energy poured into Yi Feng's body. As time went by, gradually the spirit ring became more and more dim. 3 hours later, a silver light filled the entire office. Under the bath of light, Yi Feng exudes dazzling silver light, with a sacred and mysterious atmosphere. Gold 1 star. Yi Feng's eyes skyrocketed, but he felt that his body was filled with infinite power. Not bad. Wang Quan nodded and smiled. Gold level soul masters can be qualified as high school principals in 2nd and 3rd tier cities. With your combat power, I'm afraid you will soon be able to catch up with Feng Mangong. Thinking of Feng Mangong's stunned look, Wang Quan couldn't help but look forward to it. Since the end of the summer vacation, Feng Mangong has submitted applications more than once, wanting to return to Taikyo University to work as a teacher. If this teacher finds out that he is not as strong as his students, how will he feel? Host. Yi Feng. Boundary, Gold 1 star. Martial Soul, Void God Sword. Soul Ring. 1. Nether Dragon Crocodile, 6500, Space Slicing. 2. Deep Space Demon Cloud Beast, 5000 Years, Void Shift. Martial Soul, Time Clock. Soul Ring. 1. Time Sacred Tortoise, 8800, Eternal Enchantment. 2. Death Wolf, 28600, Death and Withering. 3. Yinwei Tianhe, 4000 Years, Time Back. Soul Bone. 1. External Soul Bone, Void Dragon Eagle, minus Teleport. Martial Soul Point, 536,880. Well, it's not bad, just to be able to rise to 6 gold stars. It takes 80,000 spirit points to upgrade from Gold 1 star to Gold 2 star, 90,000 for 2 liter 3, and 100,000 for 3 liter 4. The 4-liter 5 needs more than 120,000, and the 5-liter 6 needs 140,000. It was exactly 530,000. However, the 6-liter 7 is more, and it needs 180,000. Yifeng didn't add some points for the first time, but looked at his new soul ring. Back in time. After sensing it, Yifeng was overjoyed. Time backtracking can go back to any time before, and the longest is no more than 1 minute. On the one hand, this skill can save his life, and on the other hand, it can also facilitate him to switch martial arts. It takes about 1 second to switch the spirit. With the time backtracking, Yifeng can return to the previous state of spirit possession, thus seamlessly connecting. In addition, Yifeng also discovered a wonderful use of time backtracking. That is, this skill can not only be used on oneself. It can also be used by others. If so, it will be great. Just imagine, if someone was on the verge of death, Li Hao Yifeng's soul skill would be able to avoid a crisis. What soul skill? Wang Quan asked curiously. Time-based soul skills are all magical and extremely useful. Yifeng told Wang Quanyang the relevant information about the time backtracking. Wang Quan's eyes skyrocketed. This is a very terrifying soul skill. With it, you're basically invincible. By the way, how is the consumption of soul power? It's okay, peak state can be used 4 times. Yifeng said. 4 times is enough. Wang Quan said with a smile. If Hong Zhen finds out, he will probably fight with me again. He paused for a while and asked. There is still 1 month left in the battlefield of the Buddha. Is it possible for you to have the combat power in the mid-diamond stage in this month? Wang Quan knew that Yifeng was very evil. Although he was only Gold 1, but with all kinds of soul skills and time retrospect, it should not be difficult to kill Jin Jin. But the Buddha battlefield starts with a 5-star diamond, and Yifeng is still a lot worse now. I don't know, I'll try my best. Yifeng said with a very embarrassed look. Teacher, is the battlefield of the Buddha a secret realm? Yes, it is a very mysterious secret realm. Wang Quan said. There are those who quickly improve the compatibility of martial arts, and there are also large tracts of soul crystal or veins in the Buddha battlefield. It also includes some mid-grade soul crystal veins. Yifeng's eyes lit up. Mid-grade soul crystals are very rare, and 1 piece is equivalent to 100 low-grade soul crystals. The martial soul points that can be exchanged are also 100 times that of lower-grade soul crystals. In other words, 1 medium-grade soul crystal can be exchanged for 1,000 martial soul points. The more martial soul points are needed in the later stage, and the quality of the low-grade soul crystal ore veins is limited. Even a large ore vein is likely not enough to raise 1 star later. But the middle-grade soul crystal ore veins are different. The same area and quantity can give you very rich spirit points. However, the death rate on the battlefield of the Buddha is very high, because it is the powerhouses of the Zhengwu dynasty that we have to face. Wang Quan said, there are not only hunting and hunting generals, but also the king of beasts of the dynasty. The battlefield of the Buddha is a real meat grinder, and its level of danger is not comparable to that of the Chaos Secret Realm. Hunting beasts will be equivalent to the diamond level of the human race, while beastmasters will be equivalent to grandmasters. Above the beastmaster is the overlord and master. The overlord is equivalent to the great master of the human race, and the master is the king of the human race. In the Buddha battlefield, those hunting beast generals and beast kings are hunting for the strong human race. There are not only one-on-one battles between the 2 sides, but also large-scale frontal battles. Therefore, those who can enter the battlefield of the Buddha are the elites of the major forces. This can also be regarded as a contest between the middle-level strengths of the 2 sides. After the battle of the Buddha is over, the winning side can get a lot of benefits. Teacher, what was the situation of the human race in the Buddha battlefield before? Yifeng and Wang Quan chatted while walking towards the Shira realm teleportation array. Wang Quan's face was a little unsightly. In the past 10 years, the Terran has lost 9 games, and the mortality rate is 40%. So tall. Yifeng was a little surprised. No wonder I don't think there are many diamonds and masters. The number of gold-level powerhouses on the Terran side can be said to be overwhelming. There are many major universities, and even social forces, etc. But there are not many diamonds and grandmasters. On the contrary, the stronger level of the grandmaster is a little more than the grandmaster. Before Yi Feng thought it was difficult to break through the secrets of these two realms. Last year there were 80 grandmasters and 20 diamonds. Wang Quan said. There are only 37 masters and 12 diamonds who will survive in the end. The death rate is more than 40%, right? Yi Feng clicked his tongue secretly. He doesn't count well, but this figure is obviously much higher than 40%. There were several evildoers in the Zhenwu dynasty last year. A cold light flashed in Wang Quan's eyes. He killed many of our grandmasters, although the people of Divine Prison have secretly carried out many assassinations this year, but the effect is not obvious. In the Shira world, in addition to the frontal conflict between the human race and the Zhenwu dynasty, private assassinations and countermeasures are also not rare. Among them, the one who was responsible for assassinating the geniuses of the Zhenwu dynasty was the person from the Divine Prison. The imperial capital would not leave the imperial capital easily, and almost half of the generals and prison envoys under the imperial capital were in the Shira world. The situation this year is still not optimistic. Wang Quan immediately smiled and said, however, it will be better to wait for next year. You and Gong Qingyu and the others should be able to win the Battle of the Buddha next year. Yi Feng didn't speak. In fact, I should be able to participate this year. However, Yi Feng didn't tell Wang Quan, I'd better wait until I add some points and then talk about it according to the actual combat situation. If the requirements are not met, wouldn't it be an empty joy? The gap between each star at the diamond level is even bigger, and Yi Feng doesn't know what level of opponent he can defeat. Buzz. After stepping into the teleportation formation, Yi Feng and Wang Quan came to Heroic Soul City again. Different from the last time, the number of defenders in Heroic Soul City has increased several times. The most conspicuous of these defenders was a group of soldiers wearing red armor. They are all members of the Suzaku Legion. Is there going to be a war? Yi Feng looked around. The chilling aura was very obvious. And there are many more powerful people in Hero City. Not only the Suzaku Legion, Yi Feng also saw a lot of guards from the Divine Prison. Wang Quan nodded. This year's battles are more and more frequent. Why? Yi Feng felt as if he had discovered a great secret. I don't know what means the 3 dynasties used, and the number of rulers is much more than before. Wang Quan obviously didn't want to reveal this to Yi Feng in advance. In the future, you will gradually understand when you become stronger. Let's go. Speaking of the surging soul power, Yi Feng left the Heroic Soul City. Hero City and Blood Town are separated by 10,000 kilometers. In the huge Shira realm, in addition to these two cities, there is a deeper one. But that is not a city, it can only be regarded as a small town, and it is not completely controlled by humans. Blood Town City has a larger area but much less infrastructure. Inside the high wall, blood-colored tents stood erect, and the rich bloody aura seemed to continuously wash over every soldier. The central area of Blood Town City is a huge square. 30,000 soldiers are practicing in the square. On one side of the square, Hong Zhen sat upright but seemed to be absent-minded. On the left and right sides of Hong Zhen are Wang Tu, the general of Shuidu Town, and Li Qinshan, the general of Longhe Town. It is worth mentioning that Wang Tu was originally guarding outside the magic capital. But because a town general was killed in the battle some time ago, Wang Tu was summoned back. Lord Overseer, what happened today? Wang Tu and Li Qinshan looked at each other and asked each other. It's a pity that both of them are rough, not meticulous people. Will the Abyss Master launch a second round of attacks? Li Qinshan guessed. During this period of time, the Abyss Master's attacks became more and more frequent, and his good brother and comrade, General Agni, was killed by the Abyss Master. Well, very likely, Wang Tu said. As far as your mind is delicate, it depends on you, Li Qinshan. Li Qinshan showed a reserved smile. Where is it? As soon as the voice fell, a terrifying wave came from the space above. Wang Tu and Li Qinshan got up with a huge change in their faces. At the same time, the 30,000 elites below were possessed with martial spirits at the same time. At this moment, the 30,000 Suzaku Corps seemed to be one body, simultaneously running their soul power and aiming their soul energy weapons at the void above. Hong Zhen, who was originally in low spirits, could not help cracking his mouth and laughing. Old Wang, don't let his mother's brush exist, come out quickly. I knew you were in a hurry. Wang Quan took Yi Feng to tear the void and appeared in front of everyone. After seeing Yi Feng, Wang Tu's eyes brightened. No wonder Boss Hong is absent-minded, the original problem is this. The Suzaku Legion is amazing. Yi Feng was in awe when he saw the 30,000 elites. On the one hand, you can see how strong and terrifying this troop is, and it will definitely be able to fight wherever you want. On the other hand, Yi Feng also admired Hong Zhen's ability to lead troops to train. As expected of a terrifying existence that suppresses one side. Old Hong, your soldiers have become more and more powerful recently. Wang Quan glanced at the elite who was in a state of unity and said with sincere admiration. He saw more than Yi Feng. Although the average strength of these 30,000 elites was at the gold level, their combined combat power with Suzaku's combined formation was no weaker than that of a town general like Wang Tu. Yi Feng, I've been waiting for you, haha, come and sit. Who knew that Hong Zhen didn't pay any attention to Wang Quan at all? He directly skipped Wang Quan and put his hand on Yi Feng's shoulder. Gold. Hong Zhen was a little stunned at this moment. Wang Tu, who was beside him, was stunned for a moment, and then stared straight at Yi Feng. Impossible. Is the boss feeling wrong? How long has it been gold? For a time, Wang Tu had a dreamlike feeling. Longhe Town also looked at Li Qinshan to Yi Feng. During this period of time, Hong Zhen had been talking about this person a lot, but now that he has seen it, it is indeed like the legend, the temperament of dragon and phoenix is extraordinary. Hello, Governor Hong. Yi Feng said hello to the three in turn. Don't be polite to me, it's the old king who cares about breaking the rules. Hong Zhen was in a very good mood, but he waited for a while. Yi Feng, do you want to go down and play with those cubs with me? As soon as this remark came out, the eyes of Wang Quan and several people lit up. Yi Feng hesitated. Although these elites were very powerful, none of them were his opponents one-on-one. It would be bad if it hurt them. Wang Quan knew Yi Feng's level. Old Hong, send out a centurion camp, otherwise Yi Feng is not enough to fight. Hong Zhen was nothing, but Li Qinshan felt a little disapproval. There are a total of 100 people in the Centurion Battalion, and together they can fight for the golden consummation. Can a one-star gold Yi Feng be a match? Impossible. Although Wang Tu knew that Yi Feng was terrible, he didn't think he could win. Okay, just a centurion. Hong Zhen was in high spirits. Seeing that Hong Zhen had spoken, Li Qinshan waved his hand. On the huge square, 100 elites wearing red armor took a step forward. Kang. The collision sound of the armor is not messy at all, on the contrary, it is neat and unified. The 7th Battalion of Centurion has assembled. One of the soldiers said loudly, please instruct Lord Overseer. Zhou Tai told your people not to keep their hands. Hong Zhen said to the Centurion Zhou Tai who was wearing heavy armor in the distance. Zhou Tai flashed a look of doubt, and he knew his soldiers best. The murderous aura is heavy and the suffocating aura is strong. There is no bells and whistles like outside spirit masters, only slaughter. The use of spirit power and the fit of martial spirit are both peaks. Such an existence could kill a gold 3-star soul master in the outside world. Yes, however, the military order was like a mountain, and Zhou Tai did not refute it. Anyway, with Governor Hong and Principal Wang there, nothing could go wrong. In fact, Zhou Tai is also very curious about Yi Feng's condition. In the recent period of time, there has been a lot of talk about the first pride of the human race and the fourth pillar of the future. The more you hear it, the more you will be surprised. Although I know that Yi Feng's 2 martial spirits are against the sky, how many of them can really be used in battle? Is the understanding of soul skills in place? These can be left and right to fight. Yi Feng got up and walked to the square. Looking at these 100 strong men with an average height of 1.9 meters, Yi Feng bowed his hands, please give me some advice. Please. 100 voices sounded at the same time, full of energy. After walking in, Yi Feng discovered just now that the evil spirits on these soldiers were terrifyingly strong. If it is a little weaker, it may be affected by the evil spirit and become tyrannical and brutal. Boom! A ray of blood shot up into the sky, and 100 people instantly completed the possession of martial spirits. The martial spirits of these 100 people are basically different, and there are all types. But at the moment, everyone is holding a 2-meter-long gun in their hands. Yi Feng knew that these war guns contained a mystery that could not be taken lightly. Buzz. As the light flickered, Yi Feng was possessed by the clock of time. On the high platform, several people watched with great interest. Li Qinshan and Wang Tu looked at each other. The former smiled and said, "How long do you think Yi Feng can last?" They marched to fight, and the big ones were in units of 20,000, 30,000 or even 50,000. The small ones are 10, 50, 100 people. A single individual can't see anything, but the killing intent and fighting intent condensed by a centurion camp is very terrifying. These can affect the opponent's willpower. Those with poor willpower may be frightened just by meeting each other. This is not the case. In particular, there are many super geniuses, and they are helpless and convinced in the face of the centurion camp. At least 1 minute, Wang Tu guessed. This kid has nothing to say in all aspects, not necessarily impossible. 1 minute, you are very confident in him. Li Qinshan said. That's right, after all, your students must know more than me. Hong Zhen and Wang Quan stood on the high platform with anticipation. Let's start, Hong Zhen said cheerfully. The moment the voice fell, 100 people took a step at the same time like robots. Boom! The terrifying evil spirit and murderous aura instantly converged on the soldiers in the first row. It was as if a pair of invisible hands were tearing Yi Feng apart. There was obviously no wind, but Yi Feng felt a tingling pain. I'm afraid this kind of combat power can be tied with Yinwei Tianhe. Yi Feng admired in his heart. Too bad it didn't work for me. Yi Feng killed countless soul beasts in the secret realm of chaos. Although he did not deliberately cultivate his own murderous aura, the murderous aura gathered by the 105 camp was not enough to affect his willpower. Clang! Just as the 100 furious camp rushed up, the soul ring of the holy tortoise of time lit up. The next moment, the indescribable gift of time will suppress all the hundreds of people present like a mountain. The 100 elites stood still like sculptures. What? Zhou Tai's face changed greatly. This. He couldn't believe that the soldiers under his command were controlled by all forces without any resistance. That's okay. Yi Feng seems to be immune to the murderous aura that has condensed, and his expression is still indifferent. Li Qinshan was also stunned. On the other hand, Wang Tu's eyes narrowed. It's not the same as what he thought. Kang. However, the 100 furious camp was not held for too long. The moment Yi Feng completed the switch of martial arts, 100 people moved at the same time. Although everyone was amazed and puzzled, their emotions were well restrained and it was not affected by it. Left front, right back, one of the soldiers said suddenly. Immediately, 100 people were quickly divided into 2 teams. One team rushed to Yi Feng's left front, and the other retreated to the right rear. Yi Feng looked a little unclear, so he knew it should be some kind of formation. At the moment when the first team rushed over, a surging fighting spirit fiercely bombarded Yi Feng. Yi Feng's eyes narrowed. This is not a soul skill, but it has the strength of the golden perfection. Void move. The moment the voice fell, the disgusting fighting intent instantly turned its direction. The goal is to retreat 50 people to the right rear. Boom. Everyone had no chance to react at all, and was hit by the surging fighting intent. Immediately, the formation was chaotic, and many people even turned pale and blood spilled from the corners of their mouths. Li Qinshan and Wang Tu were both stunned. Is this broken? The battle has reached this level, and the outcome has already been decided. When Yi Feng switched martial arts again, Hong Zhen was a little puzzled. What tricks does this kid have? On the contrary, Wang Quan laughed, going back in time. A rare sense of powerlessness appeared in the hearts of the soldiers of the 7th Battalion of Centurion Battalion. Hundreds of strong control, plus the strange spirit ability to transfer attacks, how to fight such an opponent. Many people were injured by the condensed fighting intent, and their breath dropped seriously. Several of the injuries are still unknown. When Zhou Tai was about to heal the soldiers, a silver light flashed. The next moment, inexplicable power flooded the audience. The light in Hong Zhen's eyes skyrocketed. He was keenly aware that something seemed to have been changed. At this moment, the 50 people whose formation was already in chaos were suddenly shrouded in silver light. Immediately, these people all returned to their previous positions. Back to the position where I was going to retreat to the right rear. Hong Zhen's eyes changed. The eyes of Wang Tu, Li Qinshan, Zhou Tai and other soldiers also changed. And those soldiers who were affected by time rewind were a little dazed. Strange, what's going on? Didn't we get hurt, 253, just now? Hey, why are you back where you were before? Have I been hallucinating before? Time fluctuates. Hong Zhen sensed that it was only bright after a long time, and suddenly his breathing was a little short. This soul skill can make Yifeng a god on the battlefield. Old Wang, what kind of soul skill is this? Hong Zhen said excitedly. You kid is hiding quite deep. Wang Quan did not pay attention to Hong Zhen, but was a little horrified by the power of time rewind. He originally thought that this soul skill could only be used on Yifeng himself. I thought before that I don't need to worry too much about the safety of the students. But who knows, this special can still be used like this. If this is on the battlefield of the Buddha, the death rate of the human race will be greatly reduced. No, this Yifeng must be protected. After a while, Hong Zhen clenched his palm as thick as a fan and immediately laughed loudly. Yifeng, win beautiful. Why don't you thank him quickly? Below, the elites looked at each other in dismay and some didn't quite understand. Wang Tu smiled and said, it was Yifeng who used the time clock's third spirit ring skill to help you. Well, it should bring you back to your previous state. As soon as these words came out, the 100 elites were all bright. And this kind of soul skill? Yes, I've never seen it before. Is this a soul skill? The soul skill of the time system is really too strong. I can't believe that our 7th Centurion Battalion lost to a student with 1 gold star. But don't complain if you lose, haha. The expressions of everyone looking at Yifeng became extremely convincing, and some soldiers had a frenzy in their eyes. If such people are in their ranks, then this army will be victorious in every battle. Keep practicing. Hong Zhen waved his hand and said, Yifeng, Lao Wang, go to my place and sit down. He can't wait to find someone in the king's power. Wang Quan knew what this guy was thinking. After a while, Yifeng came to Hong Zhen's military camp. The decoration in the barracks is very simple, except for a bed and a desk, there is nothing else. And the desk is still old, enough to see how Hong Zhen doesn't care about these things. Sit anywhere. Hong Zhen sat on the ground with the buttocks. He didn't even have a chair here, and everyone who came here sat on the ground. Pharaoh, I'm begging you for something. Hong Zhen suddenly felt a little embarrassed. I know what you're trying to say. Wang Quan rolled his eyes and said, no problem. As soon as these words came out, Hong Zhen was stunned, and looked at Wang Quan with a look of surprise. In his opinion, this old king must have 100 ways to reject himself. There are 100 ways to scold yourself when you refuse. Hong Zhen was even ready to be baptized by the anointing of royal power. No way, Yifeng is too tempting. Do you agree? Hong Zhen looked at Wang Quan in amazement. What conditions? King power is unwilling to do things that are not good. Hong Zhen's throat rolled, ready to be slaughtered. No conditions. Wang Quan narrowed his eyes and said, but there is a premise. Okay, say it. Hong Zhen stood up excitedly. First of all, it depends on Yifeng's own opinion, and secondly, after the battle of the Buddha is over. If Yifeng's time retrospect can only be aimed at himself, then the kingship is not going to be released for the time being. After all, the danger here is too high for Hong Zhen. If Yifeng has the qualifications to participate in the battle of the Buddha, coupled with the retrospect of time, his self-protection ability is no problem. At that time, it shouldn't be a problem to be a town general on Hong Zhen's side. Yifeng's heart had already moved. Without him, it is because he can kill soul beasts. Yifeng wants to obtain special rewards, only soul-killing beasts. The super rare things such as spirit rings and spirit stones are based on the premise that there are enough spirit beasts killed. How many can you kill in school? It's like Hong Zhen's side, that's how many kills there are, until you vomit. In addition, the First Legion where Hong Zhen is located also has a duty to plunder resources for the human race. Isn't the latter what you lack the most? If a large number of soul crystal veins can be found, then Yifeng's strength will be able to increase rapidly. As for the compatibility of martial soul, having soul origin hall is no longer a problem. Yifeng is also prepared for the soul ring. On the one hand, the system has a probability to reward, although the probability is extremely low, but there are many soul beasts killed, and they can always be encountered. On the other hand, the Asura realm is vast and boundless, and there are countless soul beasts. With luck, it may still happen. In addition, Yi Feng also has a dream of serving the country from the army. This world has given Yi Feng a strong sense of belonging. The human race is not easy, and those heroes who sacrificed are worthy of protection and respect. If Yi Feng didn't have this ability, he would not cause trouble. But since you have the strength and the ability to reduce casualties and kill the enemy, why not do it? Boys should fight on the battlefield, shrouded in horse leather. Yi Feng, what's your opinion? Wang Quan asked. Yi Feng pretended to hesitate for a while, mainly to show Pharaoh's posture. Otherwise, wouldn't the old Wang feel chilled by his eager and happy look? Then, let's do it, Yi Feng said. Hong Zhen laughed out loud immediately, and the sound like a muffled thunder almost overturned the tent of the military camp. On the other hand, Wang Quan looked relieved. This kid really has a conscience. It's fine on Hong Zhen's side. Although Lao Hong is not very smart and is extremely rude and irritable, it's generally okay. Kingship and goodness. Hearing this, Yi Feng was taken aback for a while. Teacher, do you praise him or scold him? As for Hong Zhen, it's not a man's style to scold me casually. In addition, your second senior sister Lu Shaner is also under Hong Zhen. Yi Feng was stunned. Aren't all of his senior sisters working as teachers at Taizheng University? Seemingly seeing Yi Feng's doubts, Hong Zhen said cheerfully, not all students are in school. Lu Shaner is the captain of the guard in Wangtu, and it will be good for you to fight with your senior sister in the future. Yes, your senior sister is in the divine prison, Wang Quan said with a smile. Second senior sister, I asked her to come here. You already know about the other two senior sisters. Yi Feng's eyes lit up. It's not tiring to work with men and women. Boom. At this moment, there was a loud noise in the distance. Wang Quan and Hong Zhen instantly looked into the distance, and a bloodthirsty color flashed in the latter's eyes. Hee, the Abyss Master is here again. Ah! The huge blood town city immediately sounded a harsh siren. Immediately, the soldiers began to assemble rapidly. Hong Zhen twisted his neck, his burly body like a mountain exuded a faint evil spirit. Yi Feng, show you the blood. Hong Zhen chuckled. Also, the spirit ring you want has been delivered to your door. Yi Feng's eyes lit up. A few days ago, I sensed this guy's breath at the border of Zhengwu Dynasty. Hong Zhen explained. It's very cunning. I specially made people stare. I didn't expect him to be in the army this time. Wang Quan also smiled. Interesting, it's actually a celestial eclipse dragon python. Go and have a look. After speaking, he took Yi Feng to the city wall in a flash. Hong Zhen and Wang Quan stood side by side and looked ahead. 100 kilometers away from Shuizhen City, a dense army of spirit beasts rushed to Shuizhen City from all directions. In the distance, a giant beast with terrifying aura was flying high in the sky. 5,900, diamond 5 stars. Wang Quan sensed the strength of the eclipse dragon python and said, Yi Feng, seems that the timing of our visit is just right. Hee, it just happens to be a gift from the master to the apprentice. Hong Zhen has begun to call himself a teacher. Humph. Wang Quan snorted to express his dissatisfaction, but 20 did not refuse. 5,900 euros. Yi Feng made a quick estimate. If I now add some points and raise it to 6 gold stars, I don't know if I can beat it. By the way, together with the martial soul divine stone, there should be a fight, right? Although the soul beasts attacked, the Blood Town city did not panic at all. 10 minutes later, the 50,000 Suzaku Corps assembled. Squeak. The 5,500-ton alloy city gates slowly opened, and soldiers filed out one by one. First ordinary soldiers, these numbers reached 150,000. The last is the 50,000 Suzaku Corps. On the city wall, a heavy cannon of soul can charge quickly. In addition to the soul energy heavy artillery, there is also the soul energy ballista with a length of 100 meters. Each crossbow arrow exudes a cold light, and its diameter is thicker than Yi Feng's waist. The arrowhead of the crossbow is either quenched with poison or covered with kerosene, which makes people horrified at first sight. In the face of nearly 1 million soul beast army, Hong Zhen's expression was the same as before. As the Blood Overseer, he has experienced countless battles, and he has faced such a situation many times. On the left side of the city wall, Wang Tu and Li Qinshan were directing the formation of their army. In addition to the 2 town generals, there were also the captain of the guard, dozens of commanders, and the captains of thousands. Yi Feng, that is your second senior sister Lu Shan'er. Wang Quan pointed to the distance and said with a smile. Yi Feng followed the sound and saw a tall and slender woman wearing red armor and holding a flame shield. Lu Shan'er has a high status in the Suzaku Corps, serving as the captain of the guard under the town general, so she is also called Captain Suzaku by many people. The captain of the guard is the same level as the general, and the strength is basically the same. Lu Shan'er seemed to sense something and glanced at the city head. The fierce aura instantly disappeared. She nodded to Wang Quan and Yi Feng, and then winked at Yi Feng. Yi Feng smiled and waved his hand. He was suddenly looking forward to his military career. No, what should I do with the other 3 senior sisters here? Suddenly Yi Feng had a headache. Boom! On the distant horizon, a dense army of soul beasts came into view. The hundreds of thousands of soul beasts in the front row are no different from the soul beasts in other places, but the back row is different, they are all wearing armor. High in the sky is an army of flying soul beasts that gather together like a dark cloud. Not right. Wang Quan's expression suddenly became solemn. Red Lotus is here too. Hong Zhen's relaxed expression turned serious. Pharaoh, you'll have to help me later. In the past, the leaders were Hong Zhen's nemesis, the Abyss Master. But this time, there is one more Red Lotus Master. The strength of the 2 masters is not weaker than Hong Zhen, which makes Hong Zhen smell an unusual breath. Could it be that the Junwu dynasty has regained its dominance again? What about Qi Yu? Wang Quan frowned slightly. Qi Yu is known as a 100-fighting military cadet, and he is the top powerhouse in the chess pavilion just like the Shenji army's Ginseng Lu Shan. Although Hong Zhen was in the town of Blood Town, Qi Yu was often there too. I'm afraid it will be held up. Hong Zhen's face was not very good looking. These rulers not only increased their strength quickly, but also increased their number. Qi Yu's main task is to go deep into the dynasty to plunder resources, and he may not be able to rush back now. Wang Quan nodded, his expression as before. Old Hong, arrange someone to protect Yi Feng. If he didn't fight, Hong Zhen would probably die. The undead warlord Yan Wudi had to guard Yinghan City at all times and couldn't support him. In addition, the Beizan army's participation in Qi Yu was suspected of being held back, so he was the only one who could help Hong Zhen. Don't you need a teacher? Yi Feng is worried that there is nowhere to get martial soul. It's not that I don't have the power to protect myself, as long as I'm not aggressive, it's fine. Well, you are here in Wang Tu. Hong Zhen said. Wang Tu, Yi Feng is yours for the time being, be optimistic about him or else lousy is your only question. Wang Tu was immediately overjoyed. Yes. As soon as the voice fell, the space far away trembled. Immediately, a giant beast with a height of 100 meters shrouded in black mist appeared in Yi Feng's sight. On the left is a giant beast surrounded by red lotuses condensed by flames. Go, have fun. Wang Quan finished talking about the possession of the spirit. The moment he held the Yuhuang sword, Wang Quan's aura instantly became extremely fierce. Boom! Hong Zhen didn't speak, but shot at the Abyss Master instantly like a cannonball. The Lord of the Abyss looked at Hong Zhen and Wang Quan and said, Hong Zhen, are you in such a hurry to die? Haha, don't talk nonsense, Abyss, I didn't kill you last time, I'll wait for the dog's head this time. Hong Zhen said that his body quickly grew taller and became a giant with his feet on the earth and the sky above his head. Court death. The Abyss Master was furious, and the black mist all over his body instantly turned into a bloody mouth. On the other side, King Power stands proudly in the void with a sword. Compared with the ruler of the Red Lotus, the royal power is extremely small, but the momentum is comparable. Wang Quan, what are you doing here without staying at your Taikyo University? The eyes of the Red Lotus ruler spewed out flames from time to burn the void. Wang Quan smiled lightly and said, I just need a spirit ring to break through, so why don't you come here? Lord Red Lotus's expression froze. He admitted that his eloquence was inferior to that of the human race. Boom! The Red Lotus wrapped around her body swelled rapidly. The air within a radius of 10,000 meters immediately became extremely hot. Wang Quan chuckled lightly, holding the Yuhuang sword and shooting into the Red Lotus with a diameter of 1 kilometer like a shooting star. In the blink of an eye, the top powerhouses from both sides fought together. Yi Feng, go to Captain Liu, Wang Tu said solemnly. Liu Shan'er's first guard is mainly responsible for defending the city, and the degree of danger is relatively low. Yi Feng did not refuse. His goal was to kill the soul beast, and then see if he could trigger the rare reward. It's the same wherever you go. After Wang Tu finished speaking, Li Qinshan rushed to the depths of the spirit beast army. The 4 soul beast overlords there were looking at them with a hideous expression. Except for these top masters, everyone else is still waiting quietly under the city wall. 5 minutes later, the first wave of the spirit beast army was only 5 kilometers away from Bloodtown City. Set off. Dozens of them all looked chilled, and the moment they finished speaking, they took the lead. The 150,000 army behind them sprinted towards the army of spirit beasts. Kill. The 150,000 army made a deafening roar. Ow! 9. Roar. Immediately afterwards, the army of spirit beasts several kilometers away simultaneously roared. The momentum of both sides is at a peak level, no one loses to the other. On the city wall, several grandmasters all looked cold and stern. Let's go. The moment the voice fell, a row of soul-removing cannons flickered. The dark gunhole radiated fiery fire, and then followed. Boom! Heavy artillery with a diameter of 10 meters quickly shot into the army of soul beasts. Boom! A terrifying explosion rose into the sky. In the blink of an eye, hundreds of soul beasts were blown to pieces by heavy artillery. Shoot! With another order, a crossbow arrow was fired. Some of these crossbow arrows were contaminated with highly poisonous poison, and many spirit beasts were poisoned to death immediately. As for those stained with kerosene, the flames instantly filled the air, and black smoke billowed. In addition, there are crossbow arrows with various formations. Some are specially used to slow down, some are used to break defenses, and some are paralyzed with lightning properties. After several waves of attacks, tens of thousands of soul beasts have already died. However, the number of soul beasts is innumerable, and this death will not form any deterrent to the army of soul beasts. Roar! The soul beasts were like tanks in contact with the human army in an instant. Leading the way was the heavily armored legion wearing heavy armor and holding a giant shield. After the heavy armored legion, it is convenient to be a pike regiment with a spear. The two sides have an incomparable tacit understanding of one against damage and the other using the combined attack formation method for output coordination. Seen from a high altitude, spirit beasts from all directions flocked to surround the Suzaku Legion. Those soul beasts who lost their opponents continued to charge towards the city wall. Everyone has it. Battle. Suzaku Captain Liu Shan'er gave a chilling look. The elites of the first guard all around stepped forward. 5th junior brother, don't leave the city wall. After Liu Shan'er finished speaking, she suddenly threw out the flame shield in her hand. Whoosh! The shield shot straight into the army of soul beasts, bringing up a long fire dragon. Ow! In the blink of an eye, more than a dozen diamond-level soul beasts died. Boom! At this moment, a giant eagle of the Beast King level descended from the sky. Humph! Liu Shan'er was not afraid of her jade hand, recalling her shield and killing her. Gradually, there were more and more spirit beasts around. The main battlefield was 5 kilometers away, and most of these soul beasts had lost their targets and came to attack the city wall. Hey! Yi Feng easily dodged the attack of a soul beast, and immediately fluttered his wings and looked around the audience. Om! With a wave of his hand, the power of time permeates a radius of hundreds of meters. Immediately, the imposing spirit beasts were all stopped. This scene made the nearby guard soldiers look stunned. Kill! Immediately, someone was overjoyed. Yi Feng raised his brows. Don't grab my martial soul points. Buzz! Immediately, the 10,000-year spirit ring skill death and withering was activated. Ow! Wow! The eternal enchantment is controlled in the front, and the death and withering attack is behind. In the blink of an eye, Yi Feng beheaded hundreds of soul beasts. Although these soul beasts have different levels of strength, the ding-ding-ding sound is always heard in his mind. System, turn off the sound first, and notify me if a rare or god-level trigger is triggered. Yi Feng's brain hurts because of the noise. Good host. There are many situations here. Ow! At this moment, a black and white hunting beast will quickly rush towards the city wall over the opponent. Hunting beasts will be comparable to human diamonds, and the strength of this iron-eating beast is no worse than Fangmangong. Get down. Yi Feng Wuhun switched to avoid shift. Immediately, the hunting beast will fall into the encirclement of several capitals. Pan Yu and the others were stunned at first, but they didn't expect this iron-eating beast to come to die on their own initiative. Could it be that they got lost? Immediately after seeing Yi Feng in the distance, he immediately understood. Ow! The iron-eating beast also noticed that something was wrong. The soul beast swears, ah! It's a pity that before the rhetoric was finished, several of them all joined forces to kill. With the wings of the void dragon eagle, Yi Feng quickly avoided the attacks of the soul beasts. Immediately came to the west side of the city wall. Buzz! When Yi Feng cast time backtracking, all the soldiers who had been seriously injured returned to their peak state 1 minute ago. More than 200 people look at me, I look at you, and someone exclaimed, it's Yi Feng. Many of these people are the soldiers of the Centurion Battalion who have learned from Yi Feng and understand Yi Feng's methods. Thank you, Brother Yi. Everyone was grateful, and after thanking them, they entered the battlefield again. Yi Feng looked around, fighting everywhere. When his eyes looked into the distance, he was suddenly overjoyed. There, a blue-gray python opened its bloody mouth and was arrogant. Many soldiers around have been swallowed by him. Sky Eclipse Dragon Python. Yi Feng rushed over without hesitation. The strength of the Eclipse Dragon Python has reached 5 diamond stars. When Yi Feng approached, a dazzling light erupted in the eyes of the Eclipse Dragon Python. He felt a strong temptation from Yi Feng. This human must have the same attributes as himself. Thinking of this, Sky Eclipse Dragon Python's huge body twisted, obviously not looking fast, but it approached Yi Feng in an instant. Yi Feng had been prepared for a long time, and Void Shift was activated. Immediately, the Eclipse Dragon Python was thrown into the Grandmaster level battlefield where Lu Shaner was. Boom! At this time, Lu Shaner was fighting with the 2 Beastmasters and had no time to take care of others. Although the Beastmaster's attack was extremely vicious, Lu Shaner was obviously not a vegetarian. The flame shield in one hand played various tricks, which could be attacked and defended. Ow! The Eclipse Dragon Python was precisely moved by Yi Feng between Lu Shaner and the 2 Beastmasters. Immediately, all the terrifying attacks hit the Sky Eclipse Dragon Python. The Heavenly Eclipse Dragon Python was so frightened that he lost his mind. The surrounding space vibrated rapidly. It's done. Yi Feng was overjoyed, but then an unexpected picture appeared. A space ripple spread, and the Eclipse Dragon Python, which was almost unable to escape, suddenly disappeared. Stealth. Yi Feng was very vigilant in his heart. Hey, to Li Hao. Just as Yi Feng teleported away from the place, a bloody mouth took a bite from the back. Worry, what a risk. Yi Feng immediately broke out in a cold sweat. Immediately clapped. The Eclipse Dragon Python was a little surprised to see that Yi Feng could run faster than himself. Human, you can't run away. Speaking of twisting his body, his speed skyrocketed. Boom! The surrounding space quickly turned into a sharp space blade. Space cut. With Yi Feng's current strength, space slicing couldn't hurt the Eclipse Dragon Python, but it greatly hindered its speed. Taking advantage of this gap, Yi Feng completed the spirit switch. The Eclipse Dragon Python's purple eyes were cold and bloodthirsty. He had given up other humans, and only Yi Feng was in his eyes. In Yi Feng's eyes, there is only the Eclipse Dragon Python. Call out. The next moment, the Eclipse Dragon Python was invisible again. Buzz. The moment the Eclipse Dragon Python opened its bloody mouth that day, the Eternal Barrier was activated. Use it. The huge body of the Eclipse Dragon Python stagnated in an instant. But the time is not long, only 1 second. However, this time was enough for Yi Feng. No, it should be said enough for Lu Shaner. Thousands of meters away, Lu Shaner's whole body was surging with flames, and in the blink of an eye, she came to the Heavenly Eclipse Dragon Python. Boom! The terrifying tongue of fire devoured the Eclipse Dragon Python. After doing all this, Lu Shaner quickly returned to her battlefield without any delay. The Eclipse Dragon Python has stealth ability and is very difficult to kill. The countermeasure Yi Feng thought was to stop him for a short time, and then let the second senior sister help. If you have thighs, you don't need to be white. Ow! The eclipse dragon python was burned by Lu Shanner's flame, and its huge body twisted and roared. However, no matter how the heavenly eclipse dragon python struggled, the scarlet flame was always attached to the body and could not be removed. This is. Vermilion bird does not exterminate inflammation. Yi Feng vaguely recognized Lu Shanner's martial spirit. If it is true that the vermilion bird does not extinguish the inflammation, then it is very powerful. This is the third terrifying flame of elemental spirits. It can also be in the top 8 on the full martial arts list. But what surprised Yi Feng was that there was not much pain on the face of the eclipse dragon python. Yi Feng didn't think too much, the 10,000-year spirit ring skill was dispatched. Death and withering. The terrifying power of time quickly enveloped the eclipse dragon python. And the sky eclipse dragon python, which has been severely damaged, has the strength to react. In less than a second, the breath of the eclipse dragon python had dropped to the extreme. Yi Feng stepped forward to give the final blow with a sweeping sweep of the divine sword of nothingness. Immediately, the abdomen of the eclipse dragon python was torn open. Yi Feng was stunned for a moment after the eclipse dragon python died that day. What about the spirit ring? Looking at the corpse that was dozens of meters long, Yi Feng was confused. At the same time, it is 30 kilometers away from the City of Heroes. My clone was killed. A soul beast with a snake tail opened its eyes and felt distressed. It cost a lot to condense this avatar. Originally, he planned to use the clone to combine that thing to create a new life form. An extremely powerful being that only obeys him. If it is really successful, then his status in the dynasty will increase linearly. Tiantong, what's wrong? A strong man with horns beside Tiantong asked. Tiantong did not reply, but closed his eyes and began to absorb the memory of the clone. This avatar can't just disappear, the reason must be found. Cab. But after a while, Tiantong's mood suddenly fluctuated violently. When he opened his eyes, the purple eyes were filled with extreme greed and excitement. The spirit of time, the spirit of space. How could the human race be so talented? Tiantong couldn't be more excited. Although the clone is gone, if this person is taken down, then his plan to create a living body can still be accomplished. Even because of the opponent's 2 martial spirits, the life body is stronger and has more potential. Mantu, I'm going to the battlefield. Thinking of this, Tien Tongan couldn't stand it anymore. Mantu frowned slightly. The battlefield is too dangerous, and the strong human race will not let you come back alive when they see you. As a space-type soul beast, Tiantong is extremely powerful. The potential is also the same. Of course, such a soul orc race will not be allowed to grow. Whether it is the people of the prison, or the Suzaku Legion, they will assassinate them secretly. Hee, Mantu, guess what I found? Tiantong looked towards the southwest with greed in his eyes. There is actually a super genius in the human race who has both the time clock and the void god sword. What? Mantu's eyes widened and he said solemnly, Young master, are you sure? Naturally, my doppelganger was murdered. Funny, really funny. Tiantong said. This trip is not in vain, I want that man Mantu. If that's the case, you can give it a shot. Mantu said with a smile. If the young master's plan is successful, the master will also value you more. Humans have a saying, if you don't enter the tiger's den, you can't get tiger cubs. This time I will go to the tiger's den for a walk. Outside Hero City, Yi Feng stared at the corpse of the eclipse dragon python in a daze. Mad, after fighting for a long time turned out to be a clone, and there are also clones among the soul beasts. Isn't this the ability of a soul master? If the kingship is here, there must be a sentence with short hair and short knowledge. After confirming that there was no soul ring, Yi Feng returned to the battlefield again. With the passage of time, the death rate of both sides has increased significantly. Yi Feng glanced at the seriously injured human soldiers below and activated the time retrospective. In the silver light enveloped, all the human race powerhouses who had been killed in battle were resurrected. The maximum number of people that can be affected by time back. Exceeding this number cannot take effect. In addition, Yi Feng also found that he couldn't let the dead go back in time. This may be related to the age of the spirit ring. From Yi Feng's point of view, if this soul skill is upgraded to a certain age, it must be possible for the dead to go back. However, Yi Feng estimates that it may take at least 100,000 years. Because this is too heaven-defying, it will also make soul beasts not tolerate. Call out. Just as Yifeng was about to support him from a distance, a needle shot came. The acupuncture was extremely fast, and it almost hit Yifeng. After Yifeng used teleport to dodge, he saw a rhino with barbed spines rushing towards him. Looking for death, Yifeng thought about it, and the rhino slammed into the mouth of a beastmaster not far away. Crack! The rhino at the peak of gold was smashed by the beastmaster before he could react. The Blood Lake beastmaster looked blank, and immediately saw Yifeng. Get that guy! The Blood Lake beastmaster roared, and immediately hundreds of soul beasts gave up their goals and rushed towards Yifeng. Space cut. Yifeng flapped his wings and retreated dozens of meters. Immediately, many of the spirit beasts that rushed up turned into pieces of stump. Ding! Successfully killed the wild blood rat and obtained a spirit stone. At this moment, the system beep sounded. Coming. Yifeng was overjoyed immediately. This time he killed 6 to 7 or 8 soul beasts. Although most of them are silver, there are not a few in the middle and late stages of gold. In particular, the wild blood rats just now had the strength of the peak of gold. When the Blood Lake Beast King saw that most of the soul beasts under his command were killed or injured, he became even more angry. Ow! He made a strange tone, and within a radius of several thousand meters, several more spirit beasts rushed towards Yifeng. These are all spirit beasts in the early stage of diamonds. Although they are not as good as hunting beast generals, they are not far behind. Yifeng, be careful. Zhou Tai, who was not far from Yifeng, let out a low voice and quickly attacked with both hands and punched the sky. Void move. Yifeng once again used Void Shift to forcefully pull 3 diamond soul beasts into the fist shadow. At the same time as the screams came one after another, Yifeng's martial spirit switched. Eternal Boundary. As the silver light bloomed, the 6 early diamond soul beasts that rushed over were all solidified. Zhou Tai's eyes brightened, and the 4th spirit ring appeared under his feet. Boom! A harsh sonic boom sounded, and all the surrounding spirit beasts collapsed to the ground and lost their breath. When Yifeng was about to follow suit and continue to attack, a strong killing intent came from the front. Along with the killing intent, there is also strong greed. Yifeng suddenly raised his head, but saw a soul beast with a snake tail rushing towards here at an unbelievable speed. Is it the Eclipse Dragon Python? Yifeng recognized the other party's aura and immediately became vigilant. Call out. As a space-type soul beast, Tiantong's speed also crushes any soul beast of the same level. The distance of 2 kilometers is almost instantaneous. Just when Tiantong was about to approach Yifeng, Yifeng teleported. Hehe, can you run away? However, at this moment, Mantu with a bull's horn appeared from Tiantong's body and attacked Yi Yuanfeng. Mantu is the Beast King at the peak of the Master, and this shot immediately brought great pressure to Yifeng. There is no escape. After sensing that he was locked, Yifeng looked as usual. Back in time. Buzz. The next moment, Yifeng returned to where he was 1 minute ago. Next to him happened to be Zhou Tai. Response to the enemy. Zhou Tai's face changed slightly and he shouted loudly. Soldiers all around came around. Boom. Mantu didn't think that Yi didn't even bother to defend, so he rushed in abruptly. Humph. There was an angry scream in the distance. However, she saw Lu Shaner's whole body burst into flames, avoiding the 2 Beast Kings and attacking Mantu. Call out. The flame shield is extremely fast and shoots towards Mantu like a teleport. Clang. The shield mounted on the back of Mantu made a symphony of gold and iron. The skin is pretty tough. Lu Shaner came over with a sullen look on her face. Not far away, Wang Tu said, Lu Shaner, protect Yifeng. He was surrounded by 2 overlords at the moment and could not escape. Yifeng is a treasure, so he can't make mistakes with him. Lu Shaner didn't answer. She could deal with 2 beastmasters, but it was a little difficult to add a savage picture. Even though Mantu was entangled, he didn't get angry, but fought with Lu Shaner unhurriedly. He has absolute confidence in his young master, and he can definitely take down that kid. At this moment, the human race powerhouses around are unable to withdraw, and the human race boy is dead. Tiantong looked at Yifeng eagerly, and immediately opened his mouth. Yifeng was about to perform teleportation and suddenly his face changed slightly. The surrounding space is locked. It was as if 4 walls of air surrounded him. That's too late. Yi Feng frowned slightly. At this time there was no time to switch martial arts. This trance was immediately swallowed by Tiantong. Suddenly Yi Feng fell into a dark world. Not good. Lu Shaner, Zhou Tai and the others' faces changed dramatically. Just as he was about to prepare a helping hand, Mantu and the other Beastmaster's offensive suddenly became fierce. Ha ha! Tiantong swallowed Yi Feng's excitement and broke through the void instantly. He is a space soul beast, and the void is his battlefield and home. All this happened very fast, and by the time Wang Tu reacted, Tiantong had disappeared. At this moment, Wang Tu only felt cold hands and feet. Roar! Wang Tu let out an angry roar, and the monstrous blood light turned into a battle axe and slashed fiercely at the two overlords in front of him. However, the two overlords were not vegetarians, and they all had the same strength, and no one was inferior to the other. So dark. Yi Feng was swallowed by the Eclipse Dragon Python, but this is obviously not the abdomen of the Eclipse Dragon Python. Could it be the space created by the Eclipse Dragon Python? Yi Feng probably had a clear understanding. Being swallowed by the Eclipse Dragon Python really exceeded Yi Feng's expectations. This guy is very strong and difficult to deal with. This is also the first time Yi Feng has faced such a powerful space-type soul beast. The previous Void Dragon Crocodile was too weak, and the Deep Space Demon Cloud Beast was beaten to death before he shot. But Yi Feng was not flustered at all. Although the Eclipse Dragon Python is difficult to entangle, it is still a 5-star diamond, which is still under the control of Yi Feng. What he is curious about is why the Eclipse Dragon Python can open up an independent space, but he can't. Human, what is your name? While thinking about it, Tiantong's voice came from all directions. Yi Feng didn't answer, and then considered whether to add more. You are entitled to let me know your name. Tiantong explained again. Yi Feng said, my name is Fu Qin. Pay relatives. Tiantong didn't turn around for a while. Let's make a deal, give me your martial spirit, and I can spare you. Can you strip my martial soul? Yi Feng was a little surprised. Tiantong chuckled. Fu Qin, the world of soul beasts is not as simple as you think, courting death. Tiantong suddenly reacted, Matt and I were taken advantage of by humans. Haha, stupid. After Yi Feng finished speaking, he started adding points. Boom. At this moment, Yi Feng's breath rose instantly. Gold 2 stars. Gold 3 stars. Gold 6 stars. In the blink of an eye, Yi Feng's realm skyrocketed from 1 gold star to 6 gold stars. This is not over yet. 2 martial soul divine stones and 10 martial soul true stone fragments were also absorbed by Yi Feng. What? Tiantong's face changed dramatically. How did this human's strength suddenly increase? Could it be he was hiding before? Immediately, Tiantong's face was a little difficult to look at. From the memory of the clone, he felt that this person was very powerful. Gold 1 star will have the combat power of the Golden Great Perfection. But, not enough. Interesting, you actually hid your strength. If it wasn't for my strength, I would have been deceived by you. Tiantong regained his confidence again. It seems that your target is also me, right? Heaven Eclipse Dragon Python, what is it to be secretive? Come out and speak. Yi Feng was calm and calm. Hehe, as you wish. Saying that, a huge python appeared in front of Yi Feng. Tiantong's huge eyes looked up and down Yi Feng. Your martial spirit is of great use to me, or that sentence give me your martial spirit, I will not kill you. Tell me how to strip the martial soul. Yi Feng asked. Well, it's time to learn knowledge. Oh, it's useless if you know it, only our soul beasts can do it. Tiantong said and walked towards Yi Feng step by step. Since you don't want it, then I'll get it myself. Of course, it's going to be painful and you're going to die. Your status should be high among soul beasts, right? Yi Feng asked. The Dragon Lord is my father. Tiantong didn't hide it, and there was nothing to hide. And the human being in front of him will soon die. Real. Yi Feng's eyes lit up. Doesn't this mean that I still have a soul ring? Tiantong seemed to have seen Yi Feng's thoughts and was immediately furious. Die. Speaking of which, the surrounding space began to tremble rapidly. The next moment, Yi Feng felt a terrifying pressure. It's like an invisible big hand trying to crush itself. Boom! A silver light bloomed from Yi Feng's body. Immediately, the eternal enchantment is activated. The speed of Tiantong stagnated in an instant, and at the same time, the depressing space returned to its original state. That's it. Yi Feng shook his head disdainfully when he saw that Tiantong was frozen. He hadn't exerted his strength yet. However, just when Yi Feng was planning to kill Tiantong, an unexpected situation occurred. Tiantong, which had been fixed before, suddenly moved. Immediately after Yi Feng's accident, Tong Tiantong opened his mouth again. A life-saving trump card. Yi Feng suddenly realized that this guy is the descendant of the ruler, and he should have similar trump cards. But if you have a whole card, I don't have it. Boom. The next moment, a picture that made the sky copper color change appeared. Under Yi Feng's feet, a bright red spirit ring appeared unexpectedly. 100,000-year spirit ring. No, to be precise, a 150,000-year spirit ring. 2 martial soul divine stones plus 10 martial soul true stone fragments, the soul ring of Death Wolf directly increased to 150,000 years. This is Yi Feng's first 100,000-year spirit ring, and it is also the most lethal one. Buzz. At the moment when the 150,000-year spirit ring appeared, a terrifying pressure quickly enveloped Tiantong. Tiantong's complexion changed dramatically, and it only felt as if the true martial arts beast emperor had descended. For 150,000 years, this is a cultivation level that his father Tianlong Master has never achieved. In the entire Zhengwu dynasty, only the noble beast emperor has the strength. No, it's impossible. Tiantong's face instantly paled. How come? His spirit ring is obviously only less than 30,000 years old. Why? If he knew that Yi Feng had a 150,000-year soul ring, he wouldn't dare to kill Yi Feng's idea. Death and wither. Yi Feng's whole body was enveloped by bright red rays of light, and it was like a god of war alive. On the red soul ring, silver-gray lines appeared. These lines bloomed with dazzling brilliance, and immediately a scene that terrified Tiantong appeared. His vitality plummeted and began to drain at an unbelievable speed. After the Death Wolf spirit ring was upgraded to 150,000 years, its range expanded to 3,000 meters. And Shouyuan can also be reduced by 50,000 years at one time. The effect on the Soul Master is 5,000 years. The question is, who can resist? Although the heavenly eclipse dragon python was much stronger than Yi Feng, it was impossible for his lifespan to drop for 50,000 years at a time. But even 10,000 years is enough to kill the eclipse dragon python. Do not. Tiantong trembled. This is impossible. He is the only son of the Lord of Heaven, and is destined to become a powerful being of the Lord. As a space-type soul beast with a background like Heavenly Dragon Lord, his future is infinitely bright, and he will definitely be able to make great achievements in the dynasty. He can't die here. Sky Copper quickly wriggled to get rid of the effect of death and decay. But no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't get rid of it. In less than 1 second, Tiantong's lifespan has dropped to freezing point. The previous arrogance was gone, replaced by a rotten and old posture. Tiantong watched his own changes in horror, and shouted with all his strength, "Save!" The voice stopped abruptly. This 5-star diamond space-type soul beast eventually died due to the loss of his lifespan. Buzz. The moment Tong died that day, a purple spirit ring appeared. Yi Feng breathed a sigh of relief. If it was still a clone, it would be too late. Ding! Congratulations to the host for killing the Eclipse Dragon Python to activate the God-level reward and get a skull fragment of the Timeless Devil. At this time, the system prompt sounds. Yi Feng was stunned for a moment, and immediately ecstatic. Soul Bone. The soul bone rewarded by the system. And it is the soul bone of a time-type soul beast. Wow, this is so cool. Immediately Yi Feng sensed it. System, how many fragments can make up a soul bone? Yi Feng asked in an excited mood. The system replied. Back to the host, 3 fragments of the same soul beast in the same part can be fused into a complete soul bone. Okay. Yi Feng couldn't close his mouth with a smile. Soul bones are so rare, he has killed so many soul beasts without ever producing a single one. And the time system is even more of a god-level treasure. With the strength of the chess pavilion, there is only 100-year-old void dragon eagle with a spirit bone attached to it. And this timeless devil skull rewarded by the system is 20,000 years old. According to the information given by the system, the Timeless Time Demon was a very powerful time-based soul beast in the ancient times. Its ability is the Infinity Seal. It can deprive the opponent of all abilities through the flow of time. In other words, under the effect of the Infinity Seal, your martial spirit, spirit skills, and spirit power are all useless. In addition, even the soul beast will be completely sealed and become an ordinary beast. This ability is too overbearing. Therefore, after the Timeless Time Demon grew to 20,000 years old, it was killed by other spirit beasts. And now, this soul skill is about to become Yi Feng's. This time the harvest is too great. Yi Feng took a deep breath to calm down. Next, he began to absorb the soul ring of the Eclipse Dragon Python. Under the induction of Yi Feng, the independent space condensed by the Eclipse Dragon Python can be broken at any time. It's just that there's no need for it now. I'll talk about it after I absorb the spirit ring. Just when Yi Feng was about to absorb the spirit ring, boom, in the distant horizon, the space where Wang Quan held the Yuhuang sword trembled and the earth cracked. His opponent, the Red Lotus Master, was also full of arrogance, but the fierceness in his eyes was no longer the same as before. Wang Quan, it's not so easy for you to kill me. The Lord of Red Lotus let out a low roar, and his terrifying soul power turned into a 1,000-meter-long fire dragon that was about to devour the kingship. Humph! Wang Quan Yiren was not afraid to go up with his sword. In front of the 1,000-meter-long fire dragon, the kingship seemed extremely insignificant. However, the extremely fierce aura instantly tore apart the fire dragon. Boom! The sound of the explosion resounded for tens of thousands of miles, and at the moment when the fire dragon was slashed, Wang Quan's sword pierced into the eyes of the Red Lotus ruler. The other side, in the space thousands of kilometers away from Wang Quan, Hong Zhen screamed again and again. Transformed into a giant reaching the sky, he is indestructible, and with a single gesture, he can split mountains and rivers. The Abyss Master on the opposite side is much more fancy. Various soul skills emerged one after another, hitting Hong Zhen like a violent storm. Hong Zhen's upper body armor had been shattered, revealing his strong muscles. However, those soul skills that could destroy the sky and the earth hit Hong Zhen without even a single wound. Abyss, you fool, is still trash. Even if it becomes stronger, it is still a waste. Today I will take your head. Speaking of which, the momentum has skyrocketed degrees. There was a flash of killing intent in the eyes of the Abyss Master. This reckless man is really strong. Hong Zhen, you will fight here today, and sooner or later you will be swallowed by this seat. The Abyss Master threw a series of attacks, and immediately tore the void and left the battlefield. Humph! Hong Zhen snorted coldly and did not chase after him. These rulers are getting stronger day by day. Before he could seriously hurt the Abyss Master. Later, he was only slightly injured, and now he can barely hold the upper hand. It is too difficult to injure him. The retreat of the Abyss Master means that the war is over. Hong Zhen's thoughts moved, and another pair of armor appeared out of thin air. He tore through the void and quickly shrank back to normal. Good. After scanning the entire battlefield, Hong Zhen nodded secretly. The casualty rate was within his acceptable range. However, his expression changed when his eyes turned somewhere. Under the city walls, Wang Tu used his last strength to kill the overlord in front of him. Immediately, his exhausted body walked towards Mantu. Under Lu Shaner's terrifying combat power, one of the three Beastmasters died in battle, while Mantu and the other were seriously injured. At this moment, Mantu was extremely terrified. He never dreamed that the fighting power of this human woman would be so terrifying. Especially that flame, attached to the body, can't be extinguished no matter what. Over time, it will burn the soul. It was under this intractable flame that Mantu's combat power was severely damaged. Boom! Just when Mantu was about to escape from here in the last resort, a terrifying aura descended from the sky. Crack! Immediately, the tall Wang Tu twisted Mantu's thigh with a gloomy face. Then, with a big wave of his hand, Mantu's proud and indestructible horn was cut off. What? Mantu let out a shrill scream. As the king of beasts of the mountain cattle and the confidant of the Tianlong ruler, Mantu's strength is 20 without a doubt. It is also praised as the first beast under the overlord by the Tianlong ruler. However, at this moment, Mantu was as weak as an ant in Wang Tu's hands. Where's Yi Feng? Wang Tu clasped Mantu's neck with an extremely cold voice. Previously, he couldn't escape, and after using all his strength to fight for his life, he finally ended the battle. But Yifeng never showed up. Anger, panic, regret, all kinds of emotions intertwined and converged into boundless killing intent. Mantu was shocked by Wang Tu's killing intent, his eyes filled with terror and he was speechless. I ask you about Yifeng. Wang Tu roared again, his eyes were extremely blood red. Such an expression was something Lu Shaner and the others had never seen before. Die, die, Mantu barely squeezed out 3 words. That human has been swallowed by the young master, and it must have died after so long. Boom, Wang Tu's anger erupted instantly. After crushing Mantu's neck in an instant, Wang Tu glanced at the audience. All the guards, look for it. Find it at all costs. After Wang Tu said this, his speed skyrocketed. Behind Lu Shaner's beautiful eyes with a trace of daze and grief, is the 5th junior brother dead? No way, just dead. I haven't had time to talk to him, it's impossible, it must be fake. Boom, Wang Tu just flew out a kilometer, and a stalwart figure blocked his way. It was Hong Zhen. Hong Zhen's tiger eyes carried a chilling light. Where's Yifeng? The evil spirit on Wang Tu's face suddenly disappeared, his eyes were red and he did not speak. You fool, Laozi asked you about Yifeng. Hong Zhen angrily kicked out his general and his love general kicked thousands of meters away. Boom, Wang Tu's sturdy body smashed into a mountain, directly shattering the mountain. The earth shook and the dust rolled. Hong Zhen took a step forward with a gloomy face. In just one step, he traveled 1,000 meters and appeared in front of Wang Tu. Where's Yifeng? Then Hong Zhen stared at Wang Tu condescendingly, with an extremely strong coldness in his eyes. Boss Hong, Yi and Yifeng were killed by the Eclipse Dragon Python. The famous Blood Slaughter Town General had a hoarse voice and red eyes. Blame me, I didn't protect it well. Wang Tu was in grief, and Do Da's tears rolled down. I am a sinner, woo. Boom, the ground under Hong Zhen's feet suddenly cracked. One after another terrifying aura burst out uncontrollably, and Hong Zhen lost control the moment he heard the bad news. Wang Tu knelt in front of Hong Zhen and wept bitterly. It was only in front of his boss that Wang Tu could not control his emotions and burst into tears. Hong Zhen's mind went blank. The surrounding space quickly collapsed under the impact of his terrifying soul power, revealing pieces of the void that were as black as ink. And Hong Zhen's eyes lost all luster. Died. Impossible. This is impossible. He stepped back 3 steps, only feeling as if the sky was falling. Yifeng is the first arrogant in the history of the human race, and his future is infinitely bright. Such a person is destined to become an indomitable superpower, and he will surely lead the human race to success. But he died. Impossible. Hong Zhen suddenly roared. The sound turned into a rolling thunder that blew the clouds in the sky. With Hongquan as the center, there will be no clouds and thousands of miles. It's been less than a day since he came to me, and you told me that I was dead. I asked you to protect him before the war, and you told me he was dead. Hong Zhen's voice became louder and louder, causing the soul beasts within a radius of tens of thousands of kilometers to die violently. Even Wang Tu's face was pale at the moment, and blood was spilling from the corners of his mouth. I didn't protect him well. Wang Tu burst into tears. This was the first time he shed tears since he joined the army. It should be the last time. Hong Zhen's chest rose and fell violently. After a while, the anger in Hong Zhen's eyes became even more intense. He did not sense Yifeng's breath. I'm looking for you to settle accounts. After saying this, Hong Zhen shot into the sky instantly. When Hong Junfei was at an altitude of 10,000 meters, the 2 suns in the sky seemed to be closer. Hong Zhen didn't even look at it, and most of the soul power in his body was instantly evacuated. Boom, the next moment, the space in front of him appeared cracks like glass. The cracks spread rapidly and spread tens of thousands of meters. Crash, pieces of space debris fell, and a pitch-black void came into view. Not here, Hong Zhen was impatient. The Eclipse Dragon Python can open up an independent void, but it can be found with his strength. What are you doing? Hong Zhenggong was about to leave at 300, but saw Wang Tu rushing into the void. He was going to find Yifeng. Don't make trouble for Laozi. With a big wave of Hong Zhen's hand, he directly hit Wang Tu to the city head in the distance. Just as he was about to continue his search, the void in the distance was torn apart. Red Lotus, save your dog's life, and remember to come to me when I break through. Wang Quan held the Yuhuang sword with a smile on his face. In the distance, the flame on Red Lotus Lord's body was extremely dim, and one eye quickly healed and cracked. Royal power, I will never forget today's shame. Lord Red Lotus gave Wang Quan a grudge and dread and left quickly. The two masters have faded away one after another, and the other soul beasts who have been killed by the overlord under his command dare to stay, and they have fled in a hurry. Wang Quansao appeared in front of Hong Zhen with a glance. What's wrong? He looked at the large shattered void and said in amazement, has the Abyss Master escaped? It seems that Guy's strength has improved a lot. Hong Zhen's determined, rough face was extremely ugly. Wang Quan smelled an unusual smell and said jokingly, why, I have suffered a loss in the hands of the Abyss Master. It's not that I told you, Lao Hong, your mentality is too bad. Hong Zhen's throat rolled. Pharaoh, Yifeng is gone. Wang Quan was stunned for a moment, and then he looked in all directions. The next moment, Wang Quan's face sank. What's going on? Hong Zhen took a deep breath and suppressed the resentment in his heart. I was killed by the Eclipse Dragon Python. Boom. As soon as Hong Zhen's voice fell, Wang Quan's soul power instantly boiled. Can you say that again? At this moment, Wang Quan's eyes became extremely terrifying. The stern aura was like an invisible blade shattering the void, and even Hong Zhen's body had small holes. Yifeng, should be dead, I didn't find it. Hong Zhen's voice was hoarse. I've checked tens of thousands of miles, old Wang, it's all to blame. The Yuhuang sword in Wang Quan's hand swept across without warning, and all the terrifying forces bombarded Hong Zhen's chest. Even with Hong Zhen's terrifying defensive power, he could see that his chest collapsed in an instant. Boom! Hong Zhen's stalwart body flew 10,000 meters upside down like a meteor. Wherever he passed, he instantly vanished into nothingness. The ground cracked open. The surrounding space that had just recovered to its original state collapsed again. Wang Quan exerted a little force under his feet, and instantly approached Hong Zhen at an unbelievable speed. Hong Zhen, you and him are just trash, Lao Zi will kill you. Boom, said and kicked out. Hong Zhen had no defense, no evasion, and no martial spirit. With this foot down, Hong Zhen flew upside down for several kilometers again. Pharaoh, don't rush to kill me first. If Yifeng dies, I, Lao Hong, will pay you with my life. Hong Zhen's skin was rough and fleshy, and he didn't suffer much damage. Of course, this is also related to the fact that Wang Quan did not have a killer. But before that, let me kill a few masters first. Hong Zhen said loudly, pay for your life. Can you afford it? Even if you can afford it, can Yifeng come back? Wang Quan held the Yuhuang sword with murderous aura. Hong Zhen, from today onwards, you and I will cut off the robe and break the righteousness. Saying that it disappeared in an instant and went to find it. However, at this moment, a gap opened in the faraway void. Then a head appeared. The head was extremely cautious, and immediately shrank back as soon as it emerged. Immediately, he looked around again and saw that the surroundings were extremely calm, so he stepped out slowly. The king's power is overwhelmed. Hong Zhen was dumbfounded. On the top of the city, Wang Tu, Lu Shaner and other soldiers looked sluggish. Yifeng, isn't he dead? The battle is over. Looking at the peaceful battlefield, Yifeng murmured in his heart. After absorbing the soul ring of the Eclipse Dragon Python, he did not break the void immediately but waited for a while. It came out in a hurry without being aware of the danger. Looking at the earth with countless cracks and ravines, Yifeng was speechless. The battle was more brutal than he imagined. Just as he was about to go back, Wang Quan and Hong Zhen appeared in front of Yifeng at the same time. Teacher, Yifeng was pleasantly surprised. I killed the Eclipse Dragon Python, the soul skill is very good, it is. Yifeng was hugged by Wang Quan before he could finish speaking. Shit, I was hugged by a man. This was Yifeng's first thought. Immediately, I felt that there was something wrong with Wang Quan. Wang Quan didn't speak, he immediately sensed that Yifeng was very good, very good. Hong Zhen's eyes were red, he stood beside him and wanted to talk but didn't know what to say. He wanted to hug Yifeng, but was occupied by the disgusting old king, and he was at a loss for a while. Mr. Hong, what are you doing? Yi Feng was a little helpless because he was held by Wang Quan and couldn't move. Hong Zhen's lips twitched to make his voice as calm as possible. No, it's fine, it's fine. At this moment, the bloody warlord, whose reputation was so illustrious that the soul beast was terrified, felt as if something had entered his eyes. He didn't let Yi Feng see it afterward. Yi Feng is not dead. He is still alive. Hong Zhen roared in his heart, and something slipped from the corner of his eye. But Hong Zhen's expression froze immediately. But he saw Wang Tu and Li Qinshan standing in front of him at some point. The two just saw Hong Zhen, who was releasing his emotions and the sparkling teardrops. Worthy. 3 people are lying in their hearts at the same time. The next moment, Hong Zhen slapped the 2 of them flying, using his soul power to instantly evaporate the tears. I knew you were all right, kid. Wang Quan rubbed Yi Feng's head to restrain his emotions and smiled, but that old boy Hong Zhen is so worried that he is crying. Hong Zhen returned to his senses and said stubbornly, my old Hong can cry. I think you are joking. I haven't settled with you yet. Wang Quan's expression was not good, and Hong Zhen's expression froze. Forget it. As long as Yi Feng is all right, I can take off the head of my old Hong and give it to you. Yi Feng reacted and said strangely, don't you think I'm dead? Nonsense, think that the teacher's eyesight can't see the truth. The king said in a serious tone. That is, let alone a small eclipse dragon python, it is impossible for the ruler to hide from me, Lao Hong. Hong Zhen patted his chest and swore. Oh, Yi Feng, save some face for you, it seems that I guessed wrong. That is, no, you're still young. When Yi Feng returned to the city wall, before he could stand firm, a fragrant wind rushed towards his face. Immediately, she saw Lu Shaner pounced into Yi Feng's arms and hugged Yi Feng tightly. Holy crap, I was hugged again. Hiss, what a blessing this is. Fifth junior brother, it's great that you didn't die. Lu Shaner said excitedly. I just said that you are blessed with great luck, how could you possibly die? Commander Hong was still furious and beat up General Wang Zhen. Hong Zhen was lying on the side with a gun and felt his face burning hot. What nonsense. Lu Shaner looked at Hong Zhen, Master Overseer, who said Yi Feng was dead just now. You, hurry up and go to Laozi to clean up the battlefield. Hong Zhen said angrily. Fifth junior brother, I'll come back to you later. Lu Shaner released Yi Feng and turned to leave. Yi Feng, tell me the specific situation. Wang Quan couldn't wait to ask. Before, he and the Red Lotus Master could not be distracted from the battle. So I don't know anything about Yi Feng. Hong Zhen also asked with concern. Yi Feng didn't hide it, and told everything about what happened before. Dragon Lord. Wang Quan and Hong Zhen looked at each other, both of them were unfamiliar with this name. It should be a recent recovery. Hong Zhen said solemnly. Is this the second master of recovery recently? There are not many rulers of the real good Wu dynasty, and they all know them. However, this is the first time I have heard of this heavenly dragon lord. Could it be the ruler from a long time ago? Wang Quan frowned slightly. It seems, this so-called recovery is more complicated than we thought. Originally, they thought that the Zhengwu dynasty should have used some method to resurrect the master who had been killed in battle. The previous Nightmare Master was once killed by Suzaku. Then some time ago, he appeared alive on the battlefield. However, the Heavenly Dragon Lord was not already killed in battle. But a brand new one, never heard of. This shows that the age of the Tianlong ruler is very long ago, and there is no trace of him in the history of the human race. Hong Zhen nodded and snorted. No matter who he is, since he is a space-type soul beast, he can't run away. As soon as the words came out, the king nodded immediately. This heavenly dragon lord is one of my disciple Yi Feng's soul ring reserves, and he cannot escape. Yi Feng suddenly felt a little sad for the heavenly dragon lord. By the way, Yi Feng, what is the soul skill of the Eclipse Dragon Python? Wang Quan suddenly thought of what Yi Feng had planned to tell himself before. Yi Feng looked a little weird. Immediately, the third spirit ring appeared under his feet, which was the purple spirit ring of the Sky Eclipse Dragon Python. The moment the spirit ring appeared, Yi Feng suddenly disappeared. Wang Quan and Hong Zhen were both stunned for a moment, and then their eyes skyrocketed, hidden void. With their strength, Yi Feng's invisibility could not be concealed from the two of them. Through induction, the two found that Yi Feng was hiding his figure in a temporary space. But what shocked the two of them was that they didn't find Yi Feng's location immediately. That's kind of awesome. You know, they are the peak powerhouses of the king. If there is a master with this ability to carry out a sneak attack, he may even be killed if he is caught off guard. At this time, Yi Feng was in a world of nothingness. But Yi Feng could clearly see everything around him. It's as if he is in other dimensions, others can't see him, but he can control other people's every move. This soul skill is good for peeping, Yi Feng thought to himself. This ability was also used when the heavenly eclipse dragon python attacked him. With space concealment plus time 300 backtracking, Yi Feng's life-saving ability will be greatly improved. And what is commendable is that the consumption of soul power in this space is not large. With his current strength, he can last for 10 seconds. This is also due to the fact that space concealment is effective for a single unit, and group-type soul skills tend to consume more. Yi Feng, with your current strength, you are qualified to participate in the Battle of the Buddha. Wang Quan smiled brightly. Accident, really unexpected. It's only been more than half a month since it came out of Chaos Secret Realm, right? This kid can actually kill 5 stars of diamonds. Honestly, even the king was jealous. You can participate, you have to train. Hong Zhen shook his head repeatedly and said, I don't want Yi Feng to have another accident. Fortunately, Yi Feng is evil enough, otherwise, he might have been killed by the Eclipse Dragon Python. If something happened to Yi Feng, Hong Zhen would definitely go crazy. Wang Quan nodded. Yes. Although the minimum requirement for the Buddha battlefield is 5 diamonds, the actual participants are all diamond pinnacles and grandmasters. And the number of diamonds in the Zhengwu dynasty is very small, and they are mainly masters. Among them, there are not a few masters in the middle and late stages, and there are also several great perfection. Yi Feng asked, Teacher, how many people are there at the Zhengwu Beast Emperor each time? Wang Quan and Hong Zhen looked at each other. The latter said, it is 10 times that of the human race. As soon as this statement came out, Yi Feng immediately understood why the death rate was so high. How to fight this fool with 100 people and 1,000 people? Surrounding you can also kill you. However, it can also be seen that the quality of the human race powerhouse is still extremely high. Actually, the mortality rate in previous years is acceptable. Hong Zhen saw Yi Feng's thoughts. Last year, there were several evildoers in the Zhengwu dynasty. A monster, Yi Feng asked, does the teacher know who they are? Yi Feng asked himself that as long as he could find soul crystals, he would be able to quickly increase his strength. Maybe it can kill more than half of these 1,000 people. At that time, the losses on the soul beast side will be very heavy. Mercaduo, Tanronli, and Qingming. Hong Zhen said. Mercaduo is the son of the Abyss Master, Tan Longli is the youngest son of the Zhengwu Beast Emperor, and Qingming is the daughter of the Undead Master. These 3 are all 1-star Grandmasters, but they were able to kill our 3-star Grandmaster last year. Because they are descendants of rulers, they have a high status, and the Great Masters also listen to them. Apart from the 3 of them, there are a few others who are also very strong, and their battle strength is even higher than those of the same level on our side. Wang Quan said. Although Suzaku Core and Divine Prison have carried out many assassinations in the past year, those 3 guys have been well protected, and the human race has never had a chance. Master 1-star, Yi Feng asked. Then there should be a lot of progress this year, right? There should be at least 3 stars for Grandmaster. Hong Zhen said. It is also possible that the Grandmaster has 4 stars. Yi Feng nodded. Okay. Cab, half an hour later. 5, come out. Lu Shaner in red light armor showed her little head playfully at the door. When he saw Lu Shaner Hong Zhen, he was furious. Go. Wang Quan smiled and said, you two, don't go outside the city. It is still very safe in Blood Town. And now that the battle has just ended, all functional departments are busy so that Yi Feng can understand. Second child, Yi Feng complained in his heart and said with a smile, come on. After Yi Feng left, Wang Quan glanced at Hong Zhen, and Hong Zhen still looked a little guilty. Wang Quan snorted coldly, but the moment he saw that Yi Feng was fine, his anger disappeared. Hong Zhen hurriedly smiled. Pharaoh, drink tea, drink tea. Saying that, I was in a hurry to pour tea. Okay, am I the kind of person with a small stomach? Wang Quan said. You say, Yi Feng's strength has improved a little faster. Wang Quan did not ask Yi Feng face to face on this topic. On the one hand, he is afraid that Yi Feng will have a burden in his heart, and on the other hand, he is also afraid that Yi Feng's secrets are not worthy of knowing. That's right, just don't deserve to know. There are many things that can be seen with the eyes of kingship. Yi Feng is too enchanting, so enchanting makes him a little terrified. Fortunately, such a person belongs to the human race, otherwise the royal power would not be able to sleep and eat. And to allow Yi Feng to improve so quickly, how terrifying the strength of the person behind him should be. Hong Zhen didn't think so much. The sooner you improve, the better, and the big battle may begin within 1 or 2 years. At that time, Yi Feng will have the power to protect himself. HMPH, you don't doubt anything? Wang Quan asked. He didn't believe that this old man really didn't think about anything. Hong Zhen's face became a little dignified. Pharaoh, I don't necessarily think that the 3 pillars are behind the help. Wang Quan nodded. He didn't think so either. If it was Suzaku, there was no need to help Yi Feng. So, Wang Quan asked, remember Li Qingdi back then? Hong Zhen said solemnly. You doubt him too? Wang Quan was a little stunned. This old man thought a lot. Hong Zhen nodded. Back then, after that incident, everyone thought he was dead. I thought too, but the spirit of time divine clock is too mysterious and powerful. As the embodiment of time, the time clock is where the power of time is. So, I wonder if he didn't die and planned something on Yi Feng. Wang Quan nodded again and again. Continue. Some time ago, I went to the 100 Burials forest, and guess what? Hong Zhen didn't give up and continued. The flow of time in that place is weird. Wang Quan raised his brows. Isn't it always like this? Yes, but that time when I went there it was a little different. Hong Zhendao. So I suspect that he just escaped the disaster, and has been secretly planning these years, and I even suspect that Yi Feng's time god Zhongwuhun was given by him. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.